Swimming pool. Golf. No running there, boy. But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, who hands up? Who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport. Talk Sport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Arsenal against Leicester City from Emirates Stadium. I'm former West Ham, Southampton and Leicester striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. Have Arsenal started the league well, I hear you ask? Well, if you're talking about home games, then yes. If away, then no. Have Leicester started the season well, I hear you ask? Well, if you're talking about away games, then yes. If home, then no. Lucky for both, it's Arsenal against Leicester at Emirates Stadium tonight. Arsenal have a great record against Leicester, incredible record against them here and at Highbury. 27 games at home against Leicester. The Foxes have failed to win. Their most recent victory away at Arsenal was 1973, though Leicester have won 3 of the last 5 meetings. There certainly has been an evening up of these two teams in recent times. And of course, Leicester are more recent Premier League champions. To the 2020 vintage, let's get to the teams tonight. No Willian this evening for Arsenal. I know some fans have been calling for that for the last couple of weeks. He's got a calf problem. Danny Ceballos' ankle issue is over and he starts. Of course, no Mesut Ozil in the squad at all. Bernd Leno is the goalkeeper. Back 4, it looks like, to start the game of Kieran Tierney, Gabriel, David Luiz and Hector Bellerin. Granit Xhaka, Danny Ceballos, Thomas Partey in midfield. Partey, Premier League start for the first time. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka and Alexandre Lacazette, the front 3. On the bench, it's Runar Alex Runarsson, the goalkeeper, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Nicholas Pepe, Skodran Mustafi, Mohamed El Neni, Joe Willock and Eddie Nketiah. For Leicester City, Kasper Schmeichel is the goalkeeper. Back 3 of Christian Fuchs, Johnny Evans and Wesley Fofana, Yuri Tielemans and Mendy in the centre of midfield with Timothy Castagne on the right, James Justin on the left, James Maddison, Dennis Pratt supporting Harvey Barnes, who gets the nod up front tonight. Jamie Vardy on the bench, recovering from his injury issue. He's been struggling with a calf problem for the last couple of weeks. Also on the bench, Danny Ward, Wes Morgan, Marco Brighton, Kelechi Iheanacho, Cengiz Under and Hamza Chowdhury. Craig Pawson, our referee. Paul Tierney, the dreaded VAR. Graham Scott getting it in the ear as the 4th official. We are underway. Leicester are on the ball on the halfway line, wearing blue shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, white numbering and trim. On the back of the shirts, they have Wesley Fofana, the young centre-half, on the ball. They attack from right to left as we're looking in this first period. Arsenal the other way, left to right, but it's James Maddison from distance here for Leicester. Well, it was a long through ball trying to release Justin. Leno came a long way out, passed it straight to James Maddison, but his chip from distance was over the top.
Well, this is really unlucky. I mean, Johnny Evans under pressure at the back. He just puts a ball over the top, in behind Bellerin. Justin is away, but Leno does really well coming out of his box, but his clearance is awful, straight to Maddison. One touch to set himself, and he's about 45 yards out just tries to bend it over Leno and the recovering defender, but it just sails over the bar. Is unlucky.
Arsenal wearing their home strip tonight, red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. But Leno are all in black. The goalkeeper to take this goal kick. The Gunners kick from left to right as we look in this first half.
Well, that is, Tom, in a nutshell, the issue with Leno, isn't it? We saw that against Rapid Vienna in the week. Playing out is not his strength. Looking at his stats, I think there's only a couple of goalkeepers who've made more errors than him leading to goals. And when the ball's at his feet, he is certainly not the best. I don't think he's good enough for Arteta, but he's chosen him, hasn't he, instead of Martinez?
The stats men tell me that was his 8th error against Rapid Vienna, leading to a goal in all competitions since the start of the 2018-19 season. Only Jordan Pickford and David De Gea have committed more in that time, though I always question what goes as an official error with the stats men, and would I agree with it? But that's what they tell us, and it doesn't look good for Leno. Good defending there by Fofana, approaching his own end line on the defensive right-hand side for Leicester. Saka tried to run him. He's got that great turn of pace, so versatile. Is Bukayo Saka, plays all over the field. You never know where he's going to play to start a game. Fofana gets a little poke away from the England international. It will be an Arsenal corner on the attacking left-hand side. Ceballos, back from injury, will take it. Right arm goes up. Ball whipped in towards the near. Flicked on and flicked home. An Arsenal lead in 3 minutes. Looks like it was flicked on the near post by David Luiz. It hit the inside of the post, but an offside flag has gone up here, presumably from the flick on at the near post. So, is it a goal, and what's being assessed here?
Well, I mean, it's a brilliant ball in here from Ceballos. It might be Lacazette with the flick on at the near, but at the back post there's Aubameyang, there's Xhaka in there, there's about 5 players all around the goalkeeper Schmeichel, and in the end, does anyone touch it? I mean, if Xhaka touches it, he's offside.
Well, I think they may have given it because Lacazette is running across the face of the goalkeeper when it's flicked past him, but no one actually touches it, so the goal is not going to stand. It's officially offside.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be Lacazette because he's at the near post. He gets the flick on. It must be Aubameyang, maybe.
Well,
is it?
I mean, I'm only assuming from that replay and the fact that Lacazette's the one that looks most annoyed, that it's because he's in Schmeichel's eye line when the flick-on comes in?
Well, I think
because Aubameyang's doesn't get anywhere near the ball.
Well, he's annoyed because obviously he's chalked off and he scored it. That's what I think's disappointed him, but maybe I don't know, maybe Xhaka was slightly offside or maybe caught the eye line of Schmeichel. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll need more replays, is what we'll need.
Yes.
We've seen a couple of quick replays whilst we tried to ascertain what was happening live. We can tell you, dear listener, it is still 0-0 between Arsenal and Leicester City, and Leicester are coming forward down the left-hand side with James Justin by the corner flag. He'll go back down the sideline to Fuchs. No Chaglar Soyuncu for Leicester, out injured for quite some time. Wes Morgan back amongst the subs, the 36-year-old club captain. Fuchs preferred, though, another survivor of the title-winning side. He's helping the ball down the left touchline here. Comes off Lacazette last. Leicester, though, Maddison with a lovely turn away from Partey. And Lacazette. Lacazette has brought him down, and Alexandre Lacazette needs to be careful here because he is looking extremely frustrated.
Well, I tell you what, he's putting a real shift in, and this is a sign, I guess, another sign of that Arteta hallmarks of or trademarks of an Arteta side. Really deep in his own half, obviously just trying to help out his side. A little bit clumsy on Maddison, but just moments before that he put pressure on Evans, stopped Evans playing the ball over the top, and their chance when Leno cleaned up came from, Lacazette pressing Evans, so showing really good energy and endeavour, Lacazette.
Free kick here from distance for Leicester City. It's left of centre, I'd say over 30 yards, just about.
Well, I think Fuchs' run-up is about 30 yards.
He's certainly revving the engines for this one, but Maddison will chip it right. Fofana at the back post, it's away by Tierney, recovered by Tielemans by the corner of the penalty area. Back behind him is Nampalys Mendy. Tielemans again. Bypasses Mendy, looks towards the centre circle and finds Castagne. To his left is Christian Fuchs, and it's helped on to Maddison, who's seeing plenty of the ball in the opening exchanges here, the Leicester number 10.
Well, I tell you what, the whole Leicester side has seen plenty of the ball. Obviously, this shape seems to suit them. They've got lovely balance on the left with Fuchs, a natural lefty, which they don't have if Justin plays left back. Obviously, he's a right footer, everything comes in field, but Fuchs has got a lovely left peg. I mean, I really like him.
Fuchs takes the long throw here, 34 years of age now. along with Morgan and Vardy and Albrighton in the matchday squad. Kasper Schmeichel too. Premier League winners.
It's funny, isn't it? You look at Chelsea changing to a 3, obviously worried about the counter-attack. Maybe Leicester the same, you know, sort of changing shape, thinking about the counter-attack of Arsenal.
Johnny Evans looks left to Fuchs in front of Brendan Rodgers on the edge of his technical area, wearing black hooded coat and suit underneath. Leicester help it forward. Madison challenged by Luis. It's out of play for a throw-in on the near side in front of Rodgers, and Mikel Arteta, who's on his left, wearing thin, I would say, cashmere black jumper, black trousers and black trainers with white trim. Everyone's got the black shoes with the white rims these days. You've got to wear that, otherwise you can't work in any kind of sport. That's the rules now.
I think Pep brought that rule in, didn't he?
That's true. But he also wears like the worst possible club jumper.
Yes.
The one you buy for like a 12-year-old.
Or a Stone Island jacket.
Oh, that's a good look, to be fair. Here's Lacazette at the other end. Runs into the stone wall of Tielemans, and Tielemans adjudged to have fouled Lacazette as he tried to bundle his way through. That's a free kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, really, really sharp. Sorry, so really sharp there from Lacazette. He's so bright. Lovely little lift over Tielemans. Yeah. I mean, he's a player, I know he often gets a little bit of stick, but I like him. Certainly through the middle, he's a wall to play off. He makes it stick. He can grab you a goal. Obviously not as prolific as Aubameyang, but I really like him as a central striker, I've got to say. 6
goals in his last 10 Premier League appearances, Alexandre Lacazette, though he has often been used as a substitute. This free kick is right of centre from an Arsenal perspective, maybe 10 yards away from the edge of the area. Granit Xhaka, David Luiz and Lacazette himself are over it. I would say that Xhaka looks most likely of those around it. 4-man wall for Leicester. Ceballos in front of that wall for Arsenal. Luiz now joins him, complaining the players are standing on the magic foam and not standing behind the magic foam. Xhaka looks certainly like he's shaping up here. It's a lovely angle for a left foot, but it's a poor strike from Granit Xhaka straight into the shins of the Leicester wall. And the Foxes can look to break away here with Castagna back to Fofana. He'll return it to Kasper Schmeichel in vault goalkeeping strip away to our right, kind of fluorescent yellow. He can chip it out to this near side, and Fuchs heads it back to Johnny Evans. Suspended at the start of this season, of course, for his red card against Manchester United on the final day, but back in the heart of defence now. Here's Schmeichel again. From his 6-yard box, chips it upfield, trying to find Barnes, nowhere near him. Luiz turns it forward, Johnny Evans clears. Justin flicks it round the corner, hits Bayer in, back to Justin, looks down the line to Harvey Barnes, who they can release in those little areas if they get the ball right and get him to run onto it, Vardy style, but that was a poor pass through to Barnes, and Arsenal have it back. They work it out left to Saka, and it's back to Granit Xhaka. Saka certainly drifting around, isn't he, at the start of this game? I had him down as starting on the right-hand side, but has played much of the opening 10 minutes over on the left. Arsenal have it in the centre circle with David Luiz. 10 minutes have now elapsed in the game. It's Arsenal 0, Leicester 0. Over the top to Bayerin here. He's brought it down beautifully. Bayerin gets the shot away, but he took a long time to do so. It allowed Johnny Evans to just get back, slide in and block the shot.
That's a brilliant ball in behind here. Bellerin timed his run perfectly from David Luiz on the diagonal. Justin caught square, caught flat-footed. Just his first touch. Not the greatest, but then his second and third, he takes far too long. He's got to get his shot off. Just allows Johnny Evans to make a brilliant block. He's got to pull the trigger much sooner though, Bellerin.
Yep. Lovely touch to bring it down first time, then forgot to shoot as this corner is delivered in, but the referee, Craig Porst, unhappy with something in there and gives Leicester a free kick before the ball even touches the ground.
It's hard to discern, to be honest, about this Leicester shape, because at times it looks like just a normal flat 4 with Castagna right back, obviously Fuchs left back, Justin playing as a sort of left midfielder at times, you know, a bit like West Ham do with Masuaku. Do you know what I mean? He can play as a left back or a sort of left midfielder or left wing back. They've got that ability with Justin to do that.
Similar story with Arsenal as well, to fluid formations thus far at Emirates Stadium. One disallowed goal, early doors for Arsenal. We are still waiting for some confirmation as to why the goal was disallowed. An offside flag is the reason, but the who's, whys and wherefores. We are still looking for a touch more detail. As David Luiz chips it forward towards Lacazette on the edge, miscontrol, cleared by Fuchs, who's passed it straight back to Lacazette, onto Saka on the edge, who shoots, deflected, spinning up in the air towards goal, wide of goal. Schmeichel scampers to try and keep it in play, can't, and that's going to be an Arsenal corner on the right.
Well, I know he's much derided, David Luiz, but his distribution so far has been absolutely brilliant. Lovely ball into the front, into the feet of Lacazette. Doesn't quite control it, but then he wins it back with that sort of industry that he's shown already. Eventually lands at the feet of Saka, shot his block, but really good. If they're going to give the likes of David Luiz time on the ball, I mean, no one can question his ball-playing ability. He's outstanding.
50th Arsenal appearance in all competitions for Bukayo Saka, who takes this corner on the right, short to Ceballos. Right-footed, whipped in, nice ball. Gabriel volleys up in the air, trying an Antonio-esque bicycle kick. It goes out of the area, recovered by the captain, Aubameyang. Cross again towards Gabriel, cleared away by Fuchs. Then Gabriel tries another bicycle kick. This time it's blocked by a Leicester defender. Turned forward again towards goal. Schmeichel will pluck that from the sky.
Well, unless, obviously, he knows something we don't, but to try 2 bicycle kicks in short succession, I guess a sign of growing confidence for the young man.
Third time's the charm, as they say, so do it next time, it's definitely going to go in. That's how it works. Nice sweeping work by Granit Xhaka over on the far side before Barnes could get onto a loose ball down the right channel. Back towards Leno, return to Xhaka via Gabriel. And Arsenal can build again. Left-footed, Gabriel forward over the top. One by Fofana, straight to Tierney. Challenged by Tielemans. Ricochets back to Johnny Evans on the edge of his own area. Fuchs has that cultured left boot, trying to find Barnes on the run down the left channel. Ball goes straight into touch, though. No reason for Barnes to chase that alongside David Luiz. 13 minutes gone here. Arsenal 0, Leicester City 0 on Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and David Connolly with you for our third game of this Premier League Sunday. And don't forget 2 more games for you tomorrow as well. Brighton, West Brom and Burnley, Tottenham underway from 5 o'clock GMT.
Well, just looking at Leicester, it is pretty much a carbon copy of how they played against Man City. All 11 in their own half, very deep, just allowing the players at the back, the likes of Gabriel and Luiz, to have a lot of the ball, hoping for a little straight pass to go and nick and then break. It's worked so far, but it just means if you do have really good ball players, you know, likes of Luiz or Gabriel, if they can pick a pass, you could be in a bit of bother.
Gabriel on the ball, £27 million from Lille during this summer. Finds David Luiz to his right, who looks long again with the diagonal bomb, this time trying to release Tierney. He's done well there, Tierney, to bring it down, tries to force across, it's blocked. Another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, and I think Kieran Tierney must be, is he one of the only players who has got his shirt tucked in? He is a throwback, isn't he, to sort of the 70s or the 80s.
As it should be, mate, as it should be.
He looks like he's off a Subbuteo table or, you know, table football.
Shirt tucked in for the players, ties on TV presenters. Bring it all back, guys.
I think he is the only one, though, with his shirt tucked in. Maybe Bellerin.
Potentially.
Maybe Bellerin.
Ceballos deep corner, it's over everyone's head, so we can get back to the real story of assessing who's got their shirt tucked in. I think Bellerin does.
Yeah,
and maybe just Mendy for Leicester is the only one I can see.
It could be for Arsenal, you know, if you're a fullback or whatever, you've got to be dogged and, you know, gritty, and that means wear your shirt tucked in. And for the rest of the players, the flair players, you know, you can have it out.
Short shorts, tuck it in, long socks. Smarten yourselves up.
Yeah.
Schmeichel's distribution sometimes found wanting, not this time, as he's found a Delph, does really well actually. Kieran Tierney back down the sideline to Partey, then to Xhaka. Across the centre circle he'll find David Luiz, who's seen plenty of the ball in the opening 17 minutes. Score still 0-0 again. He looks diagonal in the air, picks out Tierney, shirt tucked in, lovely cross, blocked though by Castagna on the cover. Hits him on the side, maybe winded Castagna there for a second. It will be an Arsenal throw.
Well, at some point they've got to go out and engage the ball, Leicester, especially when David Luiz is on it, or Castagna's got to be a little bit closer to Tierney. What they're worried about is Saka's position, which is just close to Fofana. That's why Castagna's round on the cover, but if he isn't, it just means Tierney's in acres of space.
Throw in taken by Tierney, headed back to him, challenged Castagna. The 1-2 was attempted with Xhaka for Arsenal. Throw in to be taken again. It's level with the penalty area on the left. Lacazette's turned away from the attentions of Dennis Pratt. Arsenal keep possession, which they've dominated in the opening 17 minutes of the game. Partey right to Ceballos, slight miscontrol. Allows Maddison to steal. Here he is again. Maddison pokes towards Tielemans and left to Nampalys Mendy. Aubameyang holds him up. Mendy desperate to see that ball flicked off his toes for a throw-in. Aubameyang obliges. That's a Leicester throw on the halfway line.
Well, we have seen Mendy, obviously a player who's been in and out the side, but at his best against Man City. I remember he showed some great feet to set Vardy, I think, on his way for one of the goals. And he has certainly improved, and you know, with that maybe confidence that he's got now from being a bit of a regular starter.
Maddison on the halfway, turns away from Partey and slips the ball down the right channel to Pratt. Xhaka is with him, cross comes in, it's behind Luis and Justin for Leicester. Recovered by Tielemans on this near side. Back to Fuchs, into Maddison, controls and turns forward. Up against Partey, he's had to look square to Mendy, who leaves it short for Johnny Evans. Leicester having a foray into Arsenal territory. Not seen too much of that in the last 10.
No, but then look at Arsenal. They've got all 11 as well, back in their own half, really deep, about 40 yards from their goal. Very difficult for Leicester to break them down. That's the problem with Leicester, with how they play. Unless they get an output from one of their counter-attacks, they just don't get enough bodies forward. You know, it's invariably just one player in the box.
Fofana with a Luis-esque dig right to left, trying to release James Justin. Into touch as Justin looked to get there down the left-hand side. It will be a throw to Arsenal in the right-back area. 19 minutes gone, it's 0-0. It does have a bit of a respect-the-point vibe about it, this one, which we have seen a return to in the Premier League this week. We've gone from goals galore to some more normal scorelines. And as David Connolly suggested earlier, a clear reaction to the mania, really, of the games in the opening few weeks in this Premier League season. Arsenal countering down the left-hand side. Xhaka releases Tierney. Tierney pokes on to Saka. Saka looks to cross towards Aubameyang and Lacazette in the centre. Another good block by Fofana, who's
you're right.
playing on that far side.
You're right, Tom. It wasn't another good block, and that's what you can say about Leicester. What they have done really well is actually get up to the ball and block those balls in the box.
It's looked good for Fofana. I thought he played well in the game against Aston Villa. Looks solid. Looks not like a 19-year-old playing just his third game in the Premier League, alongside two very experienced pros in Johnny Evans and Christian Fuchs tonight. And the man on the ball now, Kasper Schmeichel, the Leicester captain, has it in his own penalty area. He'll blast it upfield towards Justin, intercepted by David Luiz over on this near side. Maddison goes down, wants a free kick, not given. Partey's forward ball is weak, intercepted by Nampalys Mendy, and Leicester can regroup and get the ball over the halfway line again. Fuchs into Tielemans, 20 minutes now gone. Arsenal 0, Leicester City 0 on Premier League Live.
Well, just looking at Aubameyang, obviously he prefers playing off the left, doesn't he? That's his sort of favoured role, Henry-esque, but obviously with Saka in the side on the left, he's now on the right.
Strong challenge by Bellerin on Maddison. Ricochets off Maddison last, down the line. Luis once again too strong for James Justin. And Arsenal get forward here with Thomas Partey into Saka, back to Xhaka on the halfway line. That's a lovely slip down the channel towards Lacazette, who's goal side of Fofana in the area, wants a support run. Here it is now, Saka gets the drive away. Bukayo Saka deflected on its way through and saved comfortably by Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, nice attack. They got out of trouble, didn't they, on this left-hand side really well, Arsenal. Worked it to the other flank. Good ball in behind. It looked offside, but I think Fuchs was just playing Lacazette on. Little set to Saka on the inside, but a shot straight at Schmeichel.
Can tweet us at TalkSport Live. Let us know where in the world you're listening. Our friend Michael is in the crazy mountains of Montana, listening to us in minus 13 degrees Celsius conditions, but sitting outside in a hot tub. Sounds fantastic. Wow. And he sends a nice picture to it. I'm glad it's chest up. Cross comes in here for Arsenal from the left-hand side, trying to release Aubameyang, who loops a header towards goal. Would need to be Andy Carroll-esque to find the corner from there, and all he could do was turn it forward, turn it over the top.
It was unlucky. Good ball in the box, wasn't it, Fontini? Little skill, like sort of stop-start, received it out wide in the flank, stopped it, then started, moved it again, just shifted Castagna. That was enough for him to get the ball in the box. A little bit deep, slightly over the head of Aubameyang, just did enough to get on it, but couldn't quite keep the header down.
Good play from Tierney once again over on that far side. He started the game very well over in that position. Has played in a variety of roles, hasn't he, for Arsenal this season. both centre-half on the wing and now back in a more traditional left-back role, but does float around the field.
Well, I think those days, Tom, of buying players for a role, or you buy players, who can play multiple roles are gone, aren't they? Certainly there's a lot of players who adapted, haven't they? Certainly in the Premier League and evolved, can play in different roles. Tierney's one of them.
High ball here from Leicester down the right channel. Pratt chasing down Xhaka. Xhaka's knocked it back to Gabriel, who will drive it down the left wing up towards the halfway. Fofana forward, one back by Ceballos, but straight back to the 19-year-old for Leicester. Fofana, diagonal ball into Barnes' foot, ripped away from him by Gabriel, and he can find a forward pass. It's Bellerin over the halfway, on towards Aubameyang, coming in from the right-hand side, up against Justin. Couple of step-overs, runs towards the end line, digs out a cross. It's floating in the penalty area. Close to Schmeichel, though. Lacazette was close by, but Schmeichel, the veteran keeper, catches well.
Yeah, I mean, that attack all started from Gabriel being really aggressive on Harvey Barnes, wins the first one up, sets him on the attack.
Leicester trying to counter down the far side. Gabriel has been put under pressure by Harvey Barnes and wins a free kick for his side. Yeah,
he covered across well, though, again, didn't he, Gabriel? Just to close the danger, read the play.
Bellerin, shirt tucked in, finds Gabriel in the centre circle, out left to Xhaka. Again. Looks a little bit like they may have reshuffled here, Arsenal, with Xhaka almost left-hand side of a defensive three when they haven't got the ball.
Well, what he likes to do is he just rotates out in terms of giving him another option. He's not playing at the back, but you often get that with playing the two at the back, that sometimes that midfielder will just rotate out, slightly deeper.
Seen plenty of the ball since doing that. Xhaka, here he is again now. Partey with a diagonal in the air to Bellerin. First time volley cross is nice. Johnny Evans cleared it. He's as surprised as we are. There was no Arsenal player around him.
Well, I think he's surprised, but he's given a death stare, to James Justin. He's got done again from Bellerin. Again he's caught flat, caught square. He hasn't read the run, and he's thankful he's got Johnny Evans just to sweep up again.
How would he stop that? Track the run, or what would he do?
Yeah, he's got his body position all wrong. He's got to be side on, looking at Bellerin, knowing that that's where that ball is going. I mean, look, they don't have Chilwell anymore, so they've got to get on with it, but Justin's got an awful lot of learning to do, that's for sure.
Corner here for Arsenal, 25 minutes gone, 0-0. Saka over it, left-footed, away at the near post by James Justin, recovered by Ceballos, finds Saka. Lovely jink away from Tielemans infield. Mendy holds him up. Comes towards Ceballos on the right-hand side. Forced down the sideline, away from goal, back to Partey. Barnes hassling and harrying the Ghanaian midfielder. Finds a release back to Ceballos. Down the line to Bellerin, further on to Saka. Swept up by Fuchs by the corner flag. Left-footed, he chips it forward. 16 years between them. Saka and Fuchs, the Arsenal attacker and Leicester defender. Ball into touch for a throw-in on this near side. What do you make of Name Palace Mendy starting in the central midfield? David Connolly, of course, Ndidi out injured, going to miss a few more weeks still. Yeah,
as I said, I think he's done really, really well. I thought he was superb against Man City, and his footwork has really come on. I think he's grown in confidence from playing regularly, and he's done very, very well.
Was the record signing when he first signed, wasn't he? But then he got released this summer and was sort of out of contract for a few weeks before being re-signed.
I mean, he's a complete polar opposite to Ndidi, obviously half his size. And I guess Ndidi has filled in at the back, when Evans has been out. But good to see Mendy in there. I think he's done really well.
Former Monaco teammate of one Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang a decade ago. Back in 2010, they played together out in Ligue 1. 27 minutes gone, goalless at Emirates Stadium. Here's David Luiz over the halfway line, right-hand side. Short to Saka, who's now on the right, into Ceballos, who's not really picked the hole so far, has he, Danny Ceballos, tonight?
Well, no, and this is my bugbear sometimes with players. They drop behind the ball, a bit like Xhaka. You mentioned him, he dropping deep. Ceballos dropping deep. That's the easy option. I saw it in kids' football today. The hard option is go ahead of the ball, receive ahead of the ball, in little pockets, in pressure. Again, Ceballos dropping out with the play in front. Put yourself under pressure. Get in between the lines.
Luiz fires his trademark diagonal left to Tierney, across to Lacazette, who wins the header. Header was looped up in the air rather than at goal, and once again Kasper Schmeichel is able to play.
Oh, terrific ball again, though. Comes from David Luiz. Castagna not out, doesn't get out close enough to close Tierney down. Terrific ball in. A little bit of a carbon copy of the same one to Aubameyang, but not enough pace on the cross. Lacazette's got to generate it all himself, and he just can't quite do that.
I think Kieran Tierney could quite justifiably go up to Lacazette and Aubameyang and say, what else do you want?
Yeah.
Lay on a plate for both of you, and both of you with very weak headers.
Well, the only thing is they're not the biggest, are they, Aubameyang and Lacazette? So you would say if it was a taller centre forward, they might be able to get over the ball and then head it down with a bit more power.
Arsenal going to be tough to beat tonight. They haven't actually lost a game in October in the Premier League for 18 years, I discovered today, which is an incredible statistic.
Well, if I just look now here, Tom, just to interject, say I looked at Man City yesterday against West Ham, although they weren't great, but in these sort of scenarios where you've got the Leicester defence on the edge of the box, they've got midfield about 10 yards in front of them, they would always have a player in the pocket just off the front.
Oh,
Always.
lovely ball, David Luiz picked it up, goal side of Castagna, across towards Lacazette. Oh, he's missed a sitter. He's missed a sitter from 3 or 4 yards out. Great ball again, Luiz. Tierney again puts it on a plate for an Arsenal striker, and again they fluffed it.
Yeah, carbon copy. David Luiz out to Tierney. This time he receives in the box. I mean, it's a brilliant ball. It has fizzed at him. If I was being ultra critical, he's just got to roll it along the ground. I don't know why he fires it at head height. Put it on the ground, along the ground. He's got to tap in 3 yards out. Instead, he fires it at his head.
Now, there's a question mark here about whether Christian Fuchs' foot was high in the face of Lacazette that maybe put him off. We understand there was a VAR check and that is now over and it's not being seen as dangerous play. Craig Pawson's not going over to have a look at the monitor, though his finger was in his ear momentarily getting a message from Paul Tierney, but very interesting. It certainly was a high boot from Fuchs. No real excuse, though, for Lacazette as the corner comes in, cleared away by Leicester. Barnes charging up over the halfway line. Tripped by Lacazette, not for the first time, a foul by the Arsenal striker, and that's not gone unnoticed by the referee who will book the Arsenal number 9.
Yeah, I mean, Castagna's just got to step up to the plate at the minute. He's been caught a few times, and that ball, that trademark ball from David Luiz, right side centre half, pinged on a diagonal to Kieran Tierney. They just haven't stopped it at all. If they don't, it's going to cost them soon, Leicester.
Just being told it's Hector Bellerin who picked up that yellow card for the first foul. Lacazette was the second, but it's the first foul that's been given as the free kick. So it's Bellerin yellow carded, not Alexandre Lacazette, who gets away with it once again. Leicester play the free kick short, make a bit of a mess of it, but they have poked it through to Barnes, who's running at Luiz, running at Partey, crossing 2, hits David Luiz on its way through, spins over the end line for a corner to Leicester City when Barnes really had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, this is Barnes at his best. You know, he's surrounded 3 or 4 Arsenal players, got nowhere to go. He just knows, look, get me in the box, then no one can touch me. He just does that, gets away from Bellerin, just tries to hang it up, gets a little nick off David Luiz, gone out for a corner.
Good play by Harvey Barnes, making something from nothing and giving Leicester a chance, which is something they've not done a great deal of in the 32 minutes of action we have had thus far. Corner on the left-hand side. James Maddison is over it. Arsenal not conceded a set-piece all season so far. It's gone deep towards Justin, who seems surprised it came to him. Miscontrolled it. Now Arsenal could break away with Aubameyang up towards the halfway line. Tielemans slips as he chased him down. Released to Bellerin over the halfway. On to Lacazette. That's a late one from Fuchs as Lacazette looked to shield the ball. Fuchs goes through him and gets booked for his efforts.
Yeah, they didn't really make the most of that counter-attack. I mean, I don't know what Justin was doing on the edge of the box. I mean, he just let the ball go. Fell to Aubameyang, then they broke. He could have released, I think, a couple of players. In the end, a bit of a slower attack. Bellerin, a bit of a slow pass out to Lacazette, and Fuchs teams in. He does catch him, but it is a yellow.
And you see immediately Brendan Rodgers there on the edge of his technical area making gesticulations towards the referee. It's not that bad. Don't send him off. I think he was a bit worried there with the amount of sauce that Lacazette poured on the goose. Just a yellow for the veteran Christian Fuchs. A free kick right-hand side, about 10 yards over the halfway, which Danny Ceballos will take, right-footed. Clips it flat, flicked on by Xhaka, further on by Gabriel, away by Johnny Evans of Leicester. Recovered by Thomas Partey on the left-hand side, running in field, controls on the chest, leaves it for Xhaka. Xhaka back towards the halfway line, and Kieran Tierney Short to Xhaka, down the left wing to David Luiz. Arsenal look to regroup, reshape, and keep possession across the halfway line. 33 minutes gone. It's Arsenal 0, Leicester 0 on Premier League Live. Here's Ceballos, poor ball from him. Straight to Dennis Praet, who wants a runner, wants an option. He's got nothing ahead of him, Dennis Praet. Has to go back to Tielemans in the end. Lacazette then runs into Fofana. Surely has earned his yellow card now, but David Connolly, when they've won that ball back, Leicester, he had absolutely nobody to pass to.
Yeah, and this is the problem with the shape and how they play. Look, all deep, all in their own half. He only really had Barnes, but he had nowhere to go. There wasn't an out ball in the end. He has to set it back to Fofana. Nice little skill to get away from Lacazette, who does commit the foul, but that's where I guess, look, you're always going to miss Jamie Vardy. We know that, but they're just making do, and that's an indication of what I think Brendan Rodgers was alluding to in terms of, yes, we fell short last season, but we need reinforcements, and the problem is, what's going to happen with Jamie Vardy if he doesn't ever play?
We have this break in play now. We are finally getting some replays of the disallowed goal in the first couple of minutes. We're being told it is Lacazette offside because he flicks the ball on. Now, we've just seen a couple of close replays of that. Is that how you see it?
I honestly found it hard to see there. I mean, what they did really well, they put about 5 players on the goalkeeper and then they split off. And that was the trigger. When the ball was, when the taker was just about to come up to the ball, Lacazette comes off the goalkeeper, gets in front of the near post man, then flicks it on straight off the training ground routine, and it worked really well. Now, whether that movement off the goalkeeper where he is offside meant that as the ball came in and he flicked it, he was still offside, I don't know. It's tough. Hard to see.
The replay that we are getting from the right-hand side of the field, it's a melee of players. So it can only be Hawkeye that's given this, because it's rather indistinguishable to the human eye who is where and who touches it. Does Lacazette even touch it? I'm not convinced he does from the replays that I've seen.
Yeah, he definitely gets a flick on that.
You can be definite about that, can you?
Yeah.
I love how certain you are.
Well, that's why I'm paid the big bucks.
That's true. Hey, why are you getting the big bucks? I could do with some big bucks. We need to talk about our contracts. Anyway, we're back underway. Fofana's okay. He's had some treatment, the old magic sponge.
Talking of bucks, have we had any tweets from America?
Yes, I have.
Any more spars? Or
Neymar has been in touch. He's in Los Angeles, out on a run in the Hollywood Hills, it looks like, in LA. Out on a nice run, listening to us. And Greg Jacobs in Central Virginia, where it's peak autumn, loving the commentary, calls you both clever and funny. Must be talking about me. You've got the names muddled up. He's sent us a lovely picture of his dogs as well on a walk in Central Virginia. At TalkSport Live, the place to get in touch and let us know where in the world you are listening to us. We're back underway here. 35 minutes gone. It's Arsenal 0, Leicester 0. Tom Rennie and David Connolly with you. One's funny, one's clever. Maybe that's what he means. Decide for yourself which one you want to be. Let's go with clever. Forward ball to Harvey Barnes here, trying a clever flick towards James Justin, but Justin again hadn't quite read that. Arsenal back on the ball again. And it's around about now maybe we start thinking, just how fit is Jamie Vardy? How many minutes could we get out of him in this game? Or maybe Leicester will be happy with what's happening so far.
I'm sure a lot of people want to see him on the pitch, because then he'll get rid of that stupid hat he's wearing.
Yes, he looks a little bit like he's trying to be Tony Hawk in 1993.
Yeah.
Some people can get away with it. Other people can't. I can only wear a certain type of baseball hat. That's it.
Was he the BMX? Was he the BMX or the skateboard man?
Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Skateboards, man. Come on. Didn't you have a childhood?
Well, I did. I spent it playing football, I think.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. Some of us were in our bedrooms playing video games.
Was it skateboard or what was he?
Tony Hawk, yes.
Yes.
Of course. Come on, buddy.
All right.
I tell you what, there are young people slack-jawed around the world listening to you say that. Tony Hawk, was he the skateboard guy? He wasn't the cake decorator, was he? Do what he wants, Tony Hawk. Anyway. Football, that's it. Oh, a lovely touch by Saka away from Fofana here, approaching the penalty area, looks to slip in Lacazette, but Fuchs on the cover gets the challenge in. Beautiful first touch from the long diagonal driven into him from Gabriel.
Oh, what a ball, what a pass in, just to bypass Fofana into Saka, super touch. I think he could have actually pulled the trigger, tried to square it to Lacazette, not the best ball, and didn't make the most of that attack, Arsenal.
38 minutes gone, 0-0. Johnny Evans on the ball, on the edge of his own penalty area. Brendan Rodgers winless in all 7 away matches as a manager against Arsenal, though he did get a good draw here last season. As we mentioned across commentary, Leicester have struggled away at Arsenal since the 1970s. That was the last time they won away at either of the two Gunners' grounds. They've knocked down the old one and built a new one since then.
I just wonder, Tom, at what point would you change Aubameyang and put him on the left, you know, where he likes to play? Because they've got the natural width of Bellerin on the right. And I think, you know, they could invert. You know, Saka on the right, cutting in with his left peg, and Aubameyang then plays in his more favoured position. I don't think it suits it. Look, to me, in this Arsenal side, you've got to do everything to get the best out of Aubameyang. On the right-hand side, doesn't do it.
10 goal attempts in the game so far, just 2 on target from Arsenal. Had the ball in the net once, goal disallowed for offside. Leicester yet to trouble. Bernd Leno away to our left, no shots. Not really been in Arsenal territory very much. So I just wonder on that whether Mikel Arteta might be thinking we're doing all right, we're creating chances, dominating the play. I think it'll be a while until we see the Aubameyang shift as Luis again looks diagonal, and he'll find Tierney over on the left-hand side, brings it under his spell, then knocks it back towards the halfway. Xhaka, midway inside Leicester territory on the left, will leave it to David Luiz to his right to find the forward pass. It's onto Aubameyang, who's out on the right wing here. In towards Bellerin, back to the centre circle, Gabriel. No Leicester player pressing at all. Harvey Barnes a good 15 yards away from the Arsenal players, dropping deeper and deeper and deeper, and there is nowhere to drop it in behind for David Luiz. He'll leave it short for Gabriel.
Yeah, this is where they need to get in the pocket.
They try it now. Saka goal side of Fofana, but he's just too close to Schmeichel. Leicester had dropped so deep, and there was no pocket. Go straight to Schmeichel.
Well, there was pockets there, but they didn't have the players in them. And, you know, that's I can see a couple of failings in this sort of Arteta side, which he needs to pick up from Pep Guardiola. He would always have players in a little pocket off the front there.
Aubameyang on the turn. Early strike deflects off David Luiz here, as Leicester had spit the ball straight back to Arsenal. Shot was on target from Aubameyang, hits the backside of Luiz running diagonal, and it spins over the top.
Yeah, nothing worse when you're forward and you've got some stupid defender in the way as you're about to shoot a goal. Get out of the way, Luiz. What is he doing? That looked goal bound as well from Aubameyang, who hasn't really been in the game. Certainly doesn't get the best out of him playing off the right.
40 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Leicester 0 here on Premier League Live. Goal kick for Leicester City, which Kasper Schmeichel, the Leicester captain, will take. Right-footed, trademark blast upfield, but no one to flick it on. Not quite sure what the Leicester tactic is this evening to get upfield, if there is one at all. Maybe to give it to Maddison and hope for the best. Here he is now. He finds Barnes. Looks to slip in Pratt, flicks off Xhaka, Pratt picks it up. Back heel is way behind Castagna. Awful, awful pass, and Saka can break away. Not if Yuri Tielemans has anything to do with it. Hacks down the team, and that's a well-earned yellow card for a Guardiola-esque tactical foul.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked most likely, Leicester, when they do pick up those little interceptions or second balls in the Arsenal half, and then they break. Wasn't the best pass out to Pratt. I mean, slightly behind him, but the back heel from him to Castagna was even worse. In the end, Tielemans sweeping up, snuffling out any sort of danger. He picks up a yellow.
Second yellow for Leicester, joining Fuchs in the book. Bellerin, yellow carded for Arsenal. Here he is now, midway inside Leicester territory on the right. Back to David Luiz. He'll find Gabriel. Again, they play it left to right, right to left across their back line, Arsenal.
I mean, Partey's... Has he had a pass so far,
No.
Partey?
No, absolutely not. Anonymous so far. Not many Arsenal players have seen much of the ball, apart from Saka here, who's on the end of a cross towards the penalty area. And, well, first shot was blocked. Second, he controls and tries to strike it on the turn. Finds the side netting. It was a lovely whip from Ceballos to find Saka.
Yeah, good ball to the back post. Tries the first-time delivery. Back across goal, Fulsham on his right peg, he goes for goal, but I think he's got reversed that across the 6-yard box. He's got Lacazette in there. Instead he goes for goal, a little bit greedy.
Thomas Partey in the centre midfield this evening, starting in the Premier League for the first time. Did play against Leicester for Atletico Madrid back in 2017 in the Champions League.
Well, you know what I think, Tom? This game would be absolutely made for you-know-who.
Oh, no, don't say it. Joe Willock.
Well,
Joe Willock off the bench, a much better option than Mesut Ozil.
I mean, look, you don't need Partey and Xhaka in there, two holders.
No.
For what reason? You need one holder, and I think Xhaka could do it or Partey, but not both.
Well, Mesut Ozil's too busy tonight, live tweeting the game from home. He's predicting a 2-1 win for Arsenal today, Aubameyang to score. And he's also sharing videos of past victories over Leicester, where he starred. So that's a good use of his time. Here's James Justin over on the left-hand side, over the halfway for the Foxes, running at Bellerin, gets towards the penalty area. Poor poke from him, but he does recover it on the end line left-hand side. Back to Maddison, bit of space. Running towards the penalty area, into Barnes, back to Mendy. Lacazette slides in rather pointlessly. Leicester keep possession. Mendy was never going to shoot. Here's Barnes. About 15 yards from the edge of the area, left-hand side. Back to Tielemans, who'll leave it for Fofana. Leicester happy to be in Arsenal territory with 2 minutes to go until 45 are up. Here's Mendy. Into Tielemans. First time to Fuchs on the left. In the centre is Maddison, the Leicester number 10. Partey for company. Pokes it to Fuchs. Return to centre circle and Johnny Evans. Again, no pressure on the ball from Arsenal, as there isn't from Leicester when the Gunners are in this sort of position. And that's making it difficult for teams to pick a hole, or pick a pocket, find a pass. And Fuchs gives it straight to Partey, and that attack has come to nothing.
Well, Fuchs just trying to force it. Wasn't really on, but so difficult. I think even Leicester, trying to find it hard to break down Arsenal when they do all drop back in, all 11 in their own half.
Gabriel over the top down the left-hand side. Brilliant interception from Fofana. Great athleticism from the young man. Up in the air, 2 feet off the ground, brings it down with the right boot. And finds a good pass as well. Another assured performance from such a young man tonight.
I think the two centre-halves, Fofana for Leicester in terms of a new signing, and Gabriel have been brilliant. I mean, I'm surprised the likes of Man City didn't look at Gabriel. Left footer. Obviously Laporte was out and they've struggled for centre-halves.
Well, maybe they want to see how he does at a mid-table club first before they bring him to the top of the Premier League, A free kick here for Leicester, which they fire along towards Dennis Pratt, and Pratt not going to get on the end of that. Recovered by Tierney. It's only a joke, Arsenal fans. Come on, you can still call yourselves top 6 if you want to. 8th last season, of course. 45 minutes are up here. Not a spectacular game of football thus far. One that I think Leicester will be happy to be going in level in. 2 minutes added on at the end of the 45. Arsenal in possession with Partey in the centre circle. To his left is Gabriel. On to Tierney, who's put 3 glorious crosses in for his strikers in this game. Not Lacazette nor Aubameyang able to turn them home. Here's David Luiz over the halfway right-hand side. Tierney again with his arm up on the left, calling for the diagonal, which has been so successful in the game so far. Goes short to Bellerin instead. Back to David Luiz. Into the centre circle, and Granit Xhaka. Left to Gabriel. Poor pass to Xhaka, but just bobbles to him. Maddison looked to steal. David Luiz will go all the way back to Bernd Leno. I'm sure they'll say it's all part of the philosophy at Arsenal to play the ball pointlessly around their own half, but it's the forward pass they need to make that argument stick.
The reason is that they are obviously just playing it back, is that they are worried, I think, of Leicester, even without Vardy on the counter-attack, stealing the ball when they try and force it. But for me, they've got to be braver on the ball.
Here is Tierney, looks to slip in Lacazette, edge of the area, 3 players around him, bundled off it. And Leicester will look long. Schmeichel towards Maddison. And once again, they're just incapable of holding the ball up there, Leicester.
Yeah. And the other thing is, Tom, you've got to be so good to work in these little pockets of space. You really have. I mean, Man City struggled against West Ham, in these small, tight little pockets, 5-yard squares. Can you get out of trouble, get a player in there? It's only really when the likes of Foden and De Bruyne came on did they really impact the game in those little pockets. But Arsenal haven't got anybody like that.
No. A kind of number 10 who might be able to get in between the lines and pick out a pass. Maybe a World Cup winner or something. You just can't get players like that these days. Try the Sofas of North London. Maybe someone will be there. I don't know. Here's Johnny Evans on the end line, right-hand side for Leicester. Finds a forward pass, but that is the merciful sound of the half-time whistle. A good half for Leicester if they are trying to draw this game 0-0. For Arsenal, a much better offensive performance is needed. But goalless at the break. Arsenal 0, Leicester 0. Analysis to follow. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
And extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, Media Mate, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to Premier League Live. Our third game on Sunday comes from Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal are up against Leicester, and it's goalless at the break. Ball whipped in towards the near, flicked on and flicked home. An Arsenal lead in 3 minutes, but an offside flag has gone up here, presumably from the flick on at the near post. So, is it goal, and what's being assessed here?
It's a brilliant ball in here from Sabas. It might be Lacazette with the flick on at the near, but at the back post there's Aubameyang, there's Xhaka in there, there's about 5 players all around the goalkeeper Schmeichel, and in the end, does anyone touch it? I mean, if Xhaka touches it, he's offside.
The goal is not going to stand. It's officially offside. Lovely ball, David Luiz picked it up, goal side of Castagna, cross towards Lacazette. Oh, he's missed the sitter. He's missed the sitter from 3 or 4 yards out. Great ball again, Luiz. Tierney again puts it on a plate for an Arsenal striker. And again, they fluffed it.
Brilliant ball. It has fizzed at him. If I was being ultra critical, he's just got to roll it along the ground. I don't know why he fires it at head height. Put it on the ground, along the ground. He's got to tap in 3 yards out. Instead, he fires it at his head.
Yeah, so that's the story of it so far. David Connolly is with me, Tom Rennie. Let's talk about the offside goal, Dave. We just watched it during our half-time break there, and we're being told now that it did go in off Lacazette, but Xhaka from a flick from Lacazette, who's in an offside position, so it would have been Lacazette's goal, but it's Xhaka who's been adjudged to have been offside, interfering with play, standing in front of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, which is, well, certainly it looked hard to see what was wrong with that goal.
Yes.
Great flick on, brilliant delivery in. Lacazette got across in there, but as we said at the start, the melee of players, that's the tactic from Arsenal, just to put on the goalkeeper. Maybe Xhaka was, just infringing on the referee, but the goalkeeper, but that's a shame.
Not a great deal to talk about from an attacking perspective in this game. Arsenal have been the better of the two sides, but they don't look like they're going to score, really, do they?
Well, what they've looked like is, that stock ball from David Luiz out to Kieran Tierney or Bukayo Saka has looked really good. That's come off. Apart from that, they sort of look like a one-trick pony, to be honest. They don't risk possession enough. Maybe worried about the threat that Leicester possess, but I don't think they do possess the same threat without Vardy. They've been so deep, Leicester, they've struggled to get up in and around the Arsenal box. And, they just need players to get in positions off the front, in the pocket, in the little holes, in the number 8, in the number 10 roles. They've got too many players willing to stand behind the ball, get it, shift it, keep it. They need players to really take a risk, take a chance. Time is running out in this game. We saw that with Man City yesterday. Too late risking the ball, until they brought Foden and De Bruyne on. I think Arsenal need to do something here and just be bolder and braver.
You mentioned in commentary about Aubameyang almost looking lost out on the right wing for much of this game. Arteta has been accused of trying to be a bit too clever, hasn't he, at times? Changing his formation, switching his players up, trying to surprise the opposition. They've not been surprised, Leicester. They've dealt with it well, so do you think maybe he might try playing his best players in their best position, or is that mad?
I would. I mean, and what you get from, obviously, inverting wingers, on the right you get Saka cutting in and being a threat, maybe on goal, but you still possess the wide threat because you have Bellerin with the natural width. And on the other flank, obviously you've got Tierney with a natural left foot, and then you've got Aubameyang cutting in with his favoured right, and that would suit him. To me, when you're a manager, your whole team should revolve around your best player.
Yeah.
What suits Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and that's playing off the left.
And for Leicester, nothing really offensively to talk about. We've spoken a lot about when Jamie Vardy comes on, but what about Kelechi Iheanacho? Why would he not be out there with Harvey Barnes ineffective at number 9?
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the Europa League game, I thought Iheanacho had a really good game. I looked at it and, I thought his hold-up plays, link-up were really good. So, surprised he didn't start, but he went for like with Barnes. As it is, he hasn't really had a lot, but to be honest, he's feeding off scraps.
David Connolly for the moment, thank you very much indeed. More from David when the second half gets underway in a few minutes from now. Just before this game, we had live commentary from Molineux as Wolverhampton Wanderers took on Newcastle United. It was watched for us by Tim Long.
The spoils shared in the Wolves' den, a 1-1 draw between these two for the fourth straight meeting, but a game that didn't look like producing any goals for the vast majority. Both teams were tame, Wolves lacking a bite, the Magpies only playing to steal a point. And that they ultimately did, but in unlikely circumstances. Their defensive bubble burst by Raul Jimenez's half volley from 20 yards out on 80 minutes. His fourth goal in 6 this season, and one that looked for all the world like being the winner that would carry Wolves into the top 4 with their best top-flight start in 41 years. But Newcastle had other ideas, snatching another late draw away from home. A clumsy challenge from Wolves captain Conor Cody on the edge of the box, offering a rare opportunity to strike a goal. And with just their second shot on target on 89 minutes, Jacob Murphy squeezed the free kick home around the outside of the misplaced Wolves wall into the near bottom corner. Rui Patricio's organisational error. Nuno Espirito Santo left to rue 2 terribly dropped points. The final score, Wolves 1, Newcastle 1.
Tim, thank you. 1-1 in the end. I think both Tim Long and Kevin Watson weren't particularly expecting a goal in that game, but 2 came in the second period, and that's a good point for Newcastle United. Another game away from home where all looked lost, and they got something from it late on. Great spirit, Steve Bruce's side right now. We're not done with the Premier League today. We have 2 more games tomorrow to wrap up this Premier League weekend, game week 6 of the season. Brighton take on West Bromwich Albion tomorrow from 5 o'clock GMT. Richard Wolford and Dean Hammond, former Brighton, Southampton, Leicester player, cover that one. That's followed by Burnley up against Tottenham. Kevin Watson back with us for that one, former Spurs midfielder alongside James Fielden. Let's hear from Jose Mourinho briefly, the Tottenham manager, who says he is happy with his squad and hoping for a good campaign.
I'm very happy with the squad. Of course, next summer we will need to give a couple of touches, but this is what you always do to improve your squad. You look, for example, to Liverpool, how many years Jurgen has been there, how many transfer windows you went to the market and improve the team. And I think with us, I don't want to try to compare us with Liverpool, of course not. But what we need now is time to work and to improve our dynamics at every level.
Yeah, despite that draw against West Ham United last weekend, 3-0 up in the 81st minute for those that missed it, and they drew 3-3 against the Hammers. According to the bookies here in the UK, Tottenham now third favourites to win the Premier League, behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but that's the way the bookies see it. If Arsenal want to get back in that mix, they need to win games like tonight. At the moment, they are not against Leicester City, goalless at the break. Second half follows this. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big games at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Arsenal against Leicester City from Emirates Stadium. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one, former Foxes striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live, and we are awaiting the two sets of players at the start of this second period. Arsenal emerging from the tunnel now, led by their captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Not expecting changes for either team in this second period. So let's run you through the 11s now for Arsenal. Bernd Leno in goal. It's a back four left to right of Kieran Tierney, Gabriel, David Luiz and Hector Bellerin, who's been booked. Midfield trio, Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey and Dani Ceballos. Up front, Bukayo Saka, Alexandre Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. On the bench, Runar Alex Runarsson, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Nicholas Pepe, Skodran Mustafi, Mohamed El Neni, Joe Willock, Eddie Nketiah. Mesut Ozil live tweeting the game at home. He predicts an Arsenal 2-1 win, if you wanted to know. For Leicester City, Kasper Schmeichel is their captain and goalkeeper. Back three, Christian Fuchs, who's been booked, Johnny Evans and the teenager Wesley Fofana. In the centre of midfield, Nampalys Mendy and Yuri Tielemans. Timothy Castagne on the right-hand side, James Justin on the left, James Maddison and Dennis Pratt supporting Harvey Barnes, who gets the nod as number 9 tonight. On the bench, Jamie Vardy is there, along with Danny Ward, the goalkeeper, Wes Morgan, the club captain, Mark Albrighton, Kelechi Iheanacho, Cengiz Unda and Hamza Chowdhury. Craig Pawson, our referee. Paul Tierney is the dreaded VAR, who disallowed Arsenal's goal earlier on for offside against Xhaka. Keep your tweets coming in, by the way, at TalkSport Live. Make sure you let us know where in the world you are listening to us. Lionel with us in Accra in Ghana. Mike in Bristol, Tennessee. Enjoyed our discussion of who Tony Hawk was earlier on in the programme. Suleiman with us out in Nigeria, in Lagos, the heartbeat of Africa. Robin with us in Brazil, all hoping for a better second half, aren't we all? At TalkSport Live, the place to get in touch. We are back underway at the start of this second period. Leicester kick from left to right, wearing blue shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, white numbering and trim. Quite literally kicking left to right as Kasper Schmeichel has blasted that some 70-80 yards from the edge of his area all the way through to Leno's at the other end. Arsenal kick from right to left as we look in this second period. Red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks, and they have it just inside their own half with Thomas Partey. Out right to Bellerin. Aubameyang still out on the right wing at the moment, David Codley.
Yeah, which is disappointing. Just looking at Thomas Partey here, seeing what exactly he does, it's hard to see so far. With obviously ball possession that Arsenal have so much at the back, they just don't need another player in there. Ceballos, you know, Partey. There's like 4, 5, 6 players behind the ball. Too many.
Here's Granit Xhaka into the centre circle and Danny Ceballos.
Look, there again, Partey just drops out around the centre circle behind the ball. No one off the front.
Aubameyang running in from the right-hand side, ball at feet. Finds a pass back to Gabriel. To his left is Xhaka. Arsenal in the exact same pattern they were in at the end of the first half, and it wasn't particularly penetrative. Maybe now. David Luiz looks over the top again. Bellerin's run. Justin deals with it well this time. He certainly didn't in the first half. I'm sure that's something the coaching staff at Leicester have had a word with him about.
Well, the problem is there, if I go back to that passage of play, comes to David Luiz in his own half, and then Ceballos drops out 10 yards to the side of him to ask for the ball. Now, what's the point in Luiz passing to Ceballos 10 yards to the side of him? Luiz plays the ball in behind, Leicester win it, it drops down to exactly where Ceballos should be.
Break here for Leicester City. They've won the ball up the field. Dennis Pratt looks to slip in Maddison. It's a really poor pass from Pratt trying to release Maddison goal side. It's straight through to Leno, who picks it up somewhat easily. And he's now tossed it into touch because David Luiz has gone down injured.
I just wonder if something might have gone. I mean, he's just grabbed his thigh, maybe a little pull. Mustafi's getting ready, so this is not a touch of cramp or something. This is muscular. I think his time is run here.
Well, Mustafi, he's in line for his 100th Premier League appearance with Arsenal if he's able to come off the bench here.
Oh, I tell you what, he's done himself even more damage there because on the turnover, he was already on his haunches on the halfway, but as they turned the ball over Arsenal, Leicester were in, and he couldn't just stand still, so he had to recover back. Did a 20-yard sprint. If you've got to pull muscle, that's no doubt done it even more harm.
That's a shame for David Luiz, who's looked good tonight, and indeed the start of this season. Scored in midweek, didn't he, in the Europa League with a really smart header to get Arsenal back in that game, training as they did at that point. But not going to be able to continue here. And Skodran Mustafi started 12 of the final 16 Premier League games last season, having started just one of the previous 22. Is liked by the manager, Mikel Arteta, and he makes a return to Premier League football this season with us.
Yeah, I think David Luiz had a really good game. I think when you're facing an opponent who sits deep and allows you possession on the ball, I mean, he has got that ability, hasn't he, to open the pitch up, to hit those raking diagonals, to pick a pass.
Luis is off and Mustafi on. That's a concern for Arsenal moving forward as well. Not Mustafi coming on, but the fact the game's come thick and fast after this for Arsenal. It's Dundalk in the Europa League in midweek here, followed by a trip to Manchester United, Mulder in the Europa League again, then Aston Villa. And the games just keep on coming post-international break as well, with Europa League and Premier League action alternate. Well, every 3 or 4 days, really. I don't say alternate weeks, but it's every few days, isn't it, at the moment? They're trying to get all the fixtures through in the group stages.
Well, I think Dundalk, they lost today against Waterford, so...
Oh, good knowledge.
They might have a little bit of an eye on Arsenal. A huge tie. What a draw for Dundalk. And our Irish listeners will be obviously watching that game with keen interest. Great draw for Dundalk.
Lost their opening group game, Dundalk, didn't they? So... big, important game for them against Arsenal. If they can get something from it, they won't seemingly have to face David Luiz on the day. 50 minutes gone. We are back underway here. Mustafi is on, and Arsenal are on the ball again with Gabriel, who clips into the centre circle, and Mustafi was certainly maligned, wasn't he, in the Emery era here, but had a bit of a rejuvenation under Mikel Arteta. Here he is, finding Gabriel to his left, onto Xhaka, still just lacking impetus, the Arsenal attack, and they chip it forward, intercepted by Fofana. Pratt lobs it clear. Partey beats Maddison to the loose ball.
I don't want to keep repeating myself, but now we've got 4 players, basically a back 4 of Xhaka and Ceballos as 2 sort of fullbacks, really. You know, and the 2 centre-halves in between them. Ceballos now receiving it out wide, and, you know, he needs to be up closer to the front, you know, in the little pockets to go and do damage. It's not going to hurt anyone in and around the halfway line.
Leicester have won the ball in the central third, and they try and release a run around the far side, but it's a poor pass. That's been the story of their game, really, when they're trying to get forward, nowhere near James Justin. And Arsenal retake possession. Partey looks to slip in Saka, caught by Fofana. Saka's gone down here holding his ankle, and the referee has been suckered into giving a yellow card by that overreaction.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is an overreaction. Look, Fofana goes in hard, just catches Saka on the heel, but I don't see too much in that. I'm sure he's going to be okay.
Taking a bit of a dig on the calf there. It can be painful, but the thing is, when you've got no crowd in, you can really hear the screaming of players. Something that Sean Dyche was talking about, wasn't he? That
yes.
That players are over-screaming, squealing, I think is the word he used, to get opposition players yellow carded.
Do you think, what I think is they're just, you know, making a similar sort of noises, but there's no one in the crowd, and it just it magnifies it. And it's not a great sign, is it? And you have this sort of, not play acting, but certainly the overreaction.
Well, it's play acting, you're all right. If you're okay to say it. It is play acting a lot of the time, even if they are actually injured. But Saka seems okay, and this free kick is whipped in, but it's not a great ball. It's cleared away once, then twice by Castagna.
Oh, Ceballos has been shocking.
Terrible touch by Partey has very nearly allowed Tielemans in. It just broke back to Thomas Partey. How lucky was he there? And he's found a pass back to Leno.
They certainly need more creativity, Arsenal.
Oh, if Xhaka goes down here, then Tielemans could be in some trouble. He's been yellow carded already. It wasn't a second yellow for Tielemans because Arsenal have got underway quickly, break it away. Lacazette finds Aubameyang, challenge Mendy, and Leicester will clear it. Xhaka was desperate to be fouled. He had 4 players around him. Tielemans obliged when, if he didn't, I think Xhaka was running into trouble.
Yeah. And just going back to Arsenal, you know, Partey, Ceballos, they certainly need someone to unlock a door, more creativity in the middle of the park.
Gabriel runs into Maddison, runs into trouble. Maddison gets away with it, and he's now looking for goal from distance, not for the first time tonight. The referee didn't give anything. Leno was alert, makes a simple catch, and that's poor from Maddison. Twice he's tried that. Twice he's done it badly. Justin picks up a high ball in the left-back area, heads it against the face of Aubameyang, caught it in the hooter. I think he'll be all right, though. Leicester play on. 54 minutes gone, Arsenal 0, Leicester 0 on Premier League Live. Fuchs forward down the left channel to Justin. Back to Schmeichel again, via Johnny Evans. Schmeichel, right-hand side of his area, chips it upfield. Flicked up in the air by Dennis Pratt. Not quite sure what he does, Dennis Pratt, to be honest. Flicks it into nowhere. Gives the ball away. Battling for it here, but he's a real miscellaneous player. Castagna takes over and drives Leicester forward. Onto Maddison, nowhere to go, so he takes an early shot. Deflected and over the top. There's no goal threat from Leicester at all, so they just have to take a shot whenever they get it, and this one has, luckily for them, turned into a corner.
Yeah, you're right. Good pressure, though, from Leicester. They win the ball back, then they break. There's no one really up top. Just Maddison, nothing in front of him, so he takes a shot from outside the box, takes a little deflection on Gabriel.
Well, had to do something, didn't he, Maddison? Because there was no runner, and there was 3 players converging on him. Though I don't think he needs an invitation to shoot. James Maddison, lovely technician with the ball at feet in those sorts of areas.
Well, he certainly needs more output, doesn't he? You know, obviously got his goal in midweek, but obviously and against City as well. Scored a stunner off the bench, but
no one to really pass to from him, though. That's the issue for Maddison tonight. But he has got a corner here, which he will take. Outswinger from the right-hand side. Whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, away by Mustafi. Aubameyang beats Mendy to the second ball, loops it up in the air. Saka's clearance goes to Mendy. Wants the foul from Lacazette, gets the foul from Lacazette. I've got that as Lacazette's 5th foul this match, and he's still not been yellow carded.
Yeah, and he does the hand emoji, you know, the what's up emoji. You know, like...
The what? The what's up emoji?
You know,
you are so modern. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's TikTok, and now emojis.
Well, do you know how many emojis there are in the standard Unicode?
Tell me.
Well, it was in my pub quiz. I think nearly 3,500, which was quite incredible. And that...
Shocked face.
Yes, that Lacazette hands, the what? Shocked emoji, that was him, and he's done that numerous times.
Well, it will certainly maybe lead to the facepalm emoji here if Maddison finds the top corner from this position. We're left of centre, just about 28 yards from goal. 3-man wall for Arsenal. It's a beautiful angle for Maddison. If he hits it right, he doesn't hit it right. It's over the top. It's always rising. It's a poor connection from James Maddison. That's a let-off for Arsenal.
Yeah, and it did look inviting from the angle. We had 3 players on their tiptoes. They jumped anyway, got it up and over. It's interesting, yesterday, looked at the game, Man City, when they had a free kick, West Ham put a player lying down on the floor just in case City went under the wall.
Yeah, very interesting. Was it Pablo Fornals who was going for a nice lay down? As a yellow card here is finally given to Alexandre Lacazette, who could have been sent off twice today. High ball from Schmeichel, and he's just bundled into Johnny Evans in mid-air. That's a really poor tackle.
Yeah. And just going back to that free kick, he lay on his front for now, didn't he? Whereas I think it would have been, you know, sort of better if it had been on his side, you know, sort of David Brent-esque.
Pablo Fornals, chilled out entertainer.
Yes. Go on then, hit it into the wall.
I'm just hearing that Jamie Vardy has been told to strip off and get ready to come on.
I thought you were going to say he's been told to take his hat off, which would be a relief.
That is, well, I think that's going to go as well. They're not allowed to come on with that, I don't think. Not that cold, is it? I haven't got any hair and it's not that cold.
It's not as cold as that. Our friend in Montana or Virginia, wherever he was.
No, but it's minus 13 for Michael. But
he's wearing a hat.
He's got the hot tub, probably set at 40 degrees as well. Beautiful. That's where I keep mine, 40 degrees. Oh, yeah, lovely. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the game, apparently. I mean, there isn't really a game, to be honest. Nothing. It's very, very poor. It really is a very, very poor quality match. As Johnny Evans clips it midway inside his own half, straight to the chest of Bellerin, and then Arsenal don't really know what to do with it.
Well, if Mesut Ozil is, you know, online tweeting, he would have that emoji with his hands up saying, well, you know, what can I do?
Yeah, probably the dollar sign as well. Here's Saka into Tierney, goal side of Castagna, low cross, blocked by the sliding Fofana. Goes for an Arsenal corner on the left-hand side.
I mean, look, they will beat the likes of Sheffield and stuff, I guess, but when you've got to unlock a team with a bit of quality, they certainly miss creativity, Arsenal.
I mean, this game so far is making Man United against Chelsea look like a thriller. It has been utterly uneventful.
But we've made it sound good, though.
Well, we have, you know. I used a lot of my good jokes yesterday. You're getting the second-rate material. Saka's cross in. It's away at the near post by Castagna, excuse me, on the volley. And it goes for another corner to Arsenal, which they haven't done a great deal with since that disallowed goal early doors.
Yeah, that's right, but they've got the same tactic in terms of flooding the goalkeeper. They've got 3 on him now.
Ceballos will take the in-swinger. It's away at the near post by Tielemans. Lacazette was close by. Saka's header straight to Mendy. Back to Saka, who has managed to smuggle the ball to Ceballos, but would have been tough to control for the man on loan from Real Madrid, and he was unable to do so. And that will give us a chance here for the substitution the game has been crying out for, and that is the Premier League's deadliest hitman, Jamie Vardy, entering the fray, and the utterly ineffective Dennis Pratt to be withdrawn.
Yeah, so we've got him on the pitch now, which, I mean, Barnes will move out wide. And it's funny, wasn't it? We were talking about, we picked up a magazine article, and Arsene Wenger was in it. And one of his quotes was, "It's the individual who makes the difference. We as managers talk a lot of credit that maybe we do not deserve."
Well, Vardy's already making a difference. He's flicked it to Barnes over on the left-hand side, and Leicester are coming forward here. Barnes' crossfield pass intercepted by the retreating Ceballos. Just took too long there, Barnes, but Gabriel's given it straight back to Mendy. Flicked on towards Justin, sliding tackle by Bellerin, who's already been yellow-carded here, Bellerin.
No, I agree with this. He's dived. He's gone for this, Justin. He has gone for this.
Well, he had to jump out of the way, didn't he?
No, he's deliberately dived over this lunge from Bellerin. He's gone to get Bellerin sent off. I think this is terrible.
Do you? I just don't agree.
He knows exactly what's happening. Look at that.
He gets there first and jumps over the tackle. It's a second yellow.
That is a dive. He knows that is an absolute dive.
Well, he had to jump out the way.
Look at that.
That should be a second yellow.
Oh, my God.
That's nigh on manslaughter.
That is shocking from Justin.
No, only joking. Yeah, it's a dive. I wonder if James Justin gets a yellow card for that.
He should do. He knows, obviously, Bellerin's on a yellow. He's trying to get him sent off.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I mean, he could have dived a lot better than that, couldn't he? He might as well have just taken a bit of a hit from Bellerin. If he's going to get the yellow, get the contact at least. If he wasn't such a wimp, he would have got Bellerin sent off. Anyway. Bit of entertainment. That's nice. Nice change of pace.
Well, it would have been a 3, I think, on the diving board or whatever. I think 3 is quite a low score, isn't it? A 6 is the best. That was like a 2.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch the diving. But much that you don't watch the skateboarding. Do you know what I mean? You can't be across everything.
It's true.
And another little dive here by Fofana as he's been pulled back by Saka. No free kick given. It's gone for a throw to Arsenal left-hand side.
Yeah, I'm sure diving they don't mark out of 10. I'm sure it's out of 6.
I just don't know. Look,
yeah, I think
we're not busy. You might as well look it up, mate. Nothing else is going on. We can tell you Mesut Ozil's still tweeting, by the way. He's just tweeted, "Get well soon, David Luiz." So there you go.
Oh,
he's watching the game still. That's nice.
Sweet.
A throw in here for Arsenal, which Tierney will take long. Into the penalty area. Really big throw. Away by Fuchs. Further away by Tielemans. Ceballos sweeps up. Volleys it back towards Mustafi on the halfway line. Mustafi short to Xhaka to his left. Maddison pressing out. Would this game be better if fans were here? Is that making much of a difference to this game?
It's really difficult to tell, isn't it, in terms of an impact on a game, but certainly, you know, they might be expecting more of a performance in this second half, certainly more attacking, maybe certain changes they'd want to happen. I don't know, would Nketiah be encouraged to come on, somebody like that? Pepe?
Here's Mustafi on the halfway. Pepe was getting ready a couple of minutes ago. Saka walked over to the sideline, looked like he was going to be brought off. He's now back on again, Saka, and they're trying to find him here, but the chip to him is too long. Pepe's gone to sit down again. But Arsenal are at home here. Look, there's no fans, sure, but they're the home team, and they are providing no impetus at all to win this game, and that's unacceptable, isn't it, for Arsenal Football Club?
Well, I'd have Ceballos off for a start, whether you could put Willock on and get him to play off the front, you know, in the little pockets of space. He's got to do something.
Just said Football Club like I'm Tim Sherwood. For no reason, just said Football Club. I'm losing my mind. Here is Fuchs on the edge of his own area for Leicester from a high ball. Forward pass is poor. Arsenal have it again. And it's just such a weak game of football.
Do you know what it is? It's very choreographed. I look at the movements from Arsenal. You know, as soon as one centre-half gets it, Xhaka rotates out as an outside centre-half. You know, the full-back pushes on Tierney. It's very rehearsed. There's not... You know, we go back to that Wenger article about the player makes a difference. There's not much creativity here. It's like they're so well drilled, they've almost had the creativity drilled out of them, you know? There's nothing spontaneous.
Here's Xhaka, chips it forward to Lacazette. Fuchs clears against Lacazette's back. And Leicester have won it back again, but can they do something with it? They find Barnes on the halfway of the diagonal. Justin overlapping, giving Barnes some breathing room, who's just nudging his way forward rather than running. Back to name Palace Mendy, who looks for Evans in the centre circle, and Leicester happy to switch possession right. Fofana edging forward. He's doing a Luis diagonal to the far side, and it's over the head of Harvey Barnes. And Leicester, they look as lacking in ideas as Arsenal did.
Well, you know, maybe they'll be content with a point here, away from home, until they build again. Obviously got Leeds at home. I think that's the next home. Or is it away? That's the next game, league game.
It is going to be Leicester. It's home against Wolves. No, wait. That's what I'm talking about. Losing my mind. It's Athens next on Thursday. Leeds away, then Braga at home, then Wolves at home is the next run. There we go. Yeah. Looking at it the wrong way around. Pepe is on. He's on to replace Bukayo Saka, who did take that knock a little bit earlier on and hasn't really done too much tonight, Saka.
No, it's like for like, isn't it? You know, in terms of both operate off that right-hand side, cutting in with their left peg.
Doesn't change the shape, doesn't change the style, but maybe it will be a moment of individual brilliance from Pepe. It's a poor ball forward from Xhaka, looking to release Tierney. One back by Fofana, who's done really well here. He's run upfield a good 40, 50 yards. No one to pass to for him, though. He has to go back to Tielemans, and well, that makes that entire run upfield redundant. It's back to Johnny Evans in the centre circle. Left to Fuchs. Tielemans, first time back to Johnny Evans. Forward towards Barnes, back to Fuchs, looks into Johnny Evans' feet. Period of possession here for Leicester City. They look comfortable in that area, but what about when they move into the final third? Have they got the precision of pass? Again, Barnes trying to poke one through to Tielemans. It hits Ceballos. He got away with it. He's having a real poor game tonight, Harvey Barnes, though back in his more natural position now on the left with Vardy in the centre. Tielemans towards the halfway to Fuchs, left of centre, into Maddison, who picks it up and turns and finds Tielemans square, right to Fofana. Fofana short to Tielemans, into Evans, again there, left to right, right to left, happy to not really advance too far up the field here, Leicester. One wonders what they have been told, as Maddison passes straight to Lacazette. Awful pass from him, and then he brings down Lacazette and draws the foul, and
yeah, I mean, it was
the yellow card.
Yeah, it was patient, you'd say, from Leicester there, just trying to work the angle. Eventually, someone's tried to wrist that ball into the little pocket, and it's Maddison at the Tielemans, but it wasn't really on. They blocked it up, Arsenal. When you face that block, you've got to move it so quickly. Invariably, it's the diagonal little ball that's on. Maddison tried it, but the space wasn't really there.
Ball over the top to Aubameyang, left-hand side. Deep cross from him. Bayern's in the area. Shoots a goal. Saved by Schmeichel. That's the best Arsenal have put together in this second half.
Yeah, good move. Lovely little dink ball from Aubameyang to the back post. On the volley, Bellerin, but pushed away from Schmeichel. Good save.
Beautifully controlled in-step volley from Bayern. Must be so difficult to keep that down and get it on target, but so often you see strikes like that straight at the goalkeeper, and that's what he did there. Tielemans at the other end trying to create a chance, but his lob forward is just hopeless, and it goes straight through to Leno. Well, Aubameyang on the left-hand side now, and within a minute of moving there, he's created a chance.
Yeah.
Something you've been calling for 68 minutes.
Yes, so they've just put Pepe out on that right. Aubameyang on his favoured side, which I think is certainly better, but look, to me, I would have had him there from minute one.
Well, Mustafi's pass out to the far side. Bayern wasn't in that position. He tried to retreat, and ball goes into touch. Just getting a replay of that volley from Bayern. It really is a beautifully timed effort, isn't it? Should he have done better with it? I mean, so often you do see these strikes go straight at the keeper, don't you?
Yeah, I think he just was trying to focus and get it on target, concentrate on a good connection, which is what he did. Lovely little give and go from Aubameyang. You know, he made the move.
Ball is with Bernd Leno, the Arsenal keeper, away to our right, all in black this evening. It's the first time I've said his name for a long time.
I'd ban midfielders dropping into the back line. I just find it so boring to look at. You know, get further up the pitch where you can, because you've got two centre-halves. Look, they're not up against the front two. There's half the time in the Premier League, there's no one up against them.
Lovely big diagonal from Mustafi, right to left, and he finds Tierney in towards Lacazette. 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side. Thomas Partey, nowhere to go for him, really, so he goes short to Ceballos, back to Partey. He finds Xhaka to his left, the midfield three, forming a flat line there. Left to Tierney, into Lacazette. Forced away from goal by Fofana, and it's back to Xhaka. And there was a lack of creativity from Arsenal's midfield at a vital moment. Right to Bellerin, into Ceballos, back towards the halfway, and Gabriel.
Has he played a forward pass in this game, Ceballos? I don't think so.
Partey tries one, blasts it into Pepe, who's made something of it. Running forward, runs into Mendy. Leicester win it back, and they can look to counter, but they don't really seem like they fancy the counter this evening, Leicester. Maybe confidence is somewhat dented by those losses to West Ham and Aston Villa. And of course they will know that Jamie Vardy isn't up to full speed. Ball flicked into Maddison, Gabriel beats him to it. Fofana then beats Aubameyang to the loose ball, heads it to Kasper Schmeichel.
Good header. Do you know that was a good header, Tom? Because the ball was bouncing. If he heads that straight to Schmeichel, Aubameyang might get the ball, so he heads it on the diagonal. Just means Aubameyang's got further to run. Really clever header. Just knowing that that'll just give Schmeichel time to gather it. Aubameyang won't be able to make that ground up.
It's Johnny Evans who turns forward, approaching the halfway. Bit of pace from Johnny Evans because no one is coming towards him. He's got 10-12 yards into the Arsenal half before leaving it for Castagna.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, here's Johnny. Could have done.
I'll do it when it's worth it.
Yeah,
I won't waste it on that.
Well, that was the only time he's going to really.
If he scores
go
the winner,
into the
I'll
other
do
half. Oh, right, okay.
Back to Kasper Schmeichel again. All the way back to him. Why? Fuchs here, back to Schmeichel again. Johnny Evans takes it before he could get to Schmeichel. Now back in his natural position. Forward ball, Barnes round the corner, left to Mendy, and there's a bit of space for him to run. Mendy pokes it down the line to Justin. Vardy in the box, up against Bellerin. Takes him on the outside, low cross straight to Leno. Yep. No chance really for Vardy to turn anything home there.
Poor cross, and I've seen this from Justin quite a few times. Saw it against West Ham where, he's not a natural left footer, so when he gets in those positions, his distribution, his balls in aren't great.
Arsenal give it away. Barnes takes on Mustafi, beats him. Bellerin slides in. Pokes it back to his own area where Gabriel will look to clear. Vardy chasing him down. Gabriel gets into trouble. Justin takes over, pokes it back to Mendy. Comes from Vardy's pressing. Maddison leaves it for Mendy. Someone's got to take a risk at some point here, haven't they?
Yeah.
Justin into Barnes. Back to Fuchs, and it'll go back to the halfway line. A real lack of daring in this game from both teams.
Yeah, there is. Lack of flair, imagination.
Here's Fuchs, a few yards over the halfway line, left-hand side. 73 minutes gone, it's goalless. And it's one of the most goalless games I've seen all season.
Well, it could be two coaches who have just overcoached their teams, coached the creativity out of them.
Forward by Tielemans, trying to release Castagna in the area, but Gabriel has stepped across and got there first. Back towards Xhaka, who clears upfield towards Lacazette. Well won by Johnny Evans, into Mendy. Mendy finds Tielemans. Leicester still have bodies in the Arsenal half. Castagna into Maddison, corner of the area, right-hand side. Again, they go back. Into Mendy, back to Tielemans. Maddison pokes it down the line to Vardy. Vardy on the end line, returns it to Castagna down the line. Into Maddison on the edge, right-hand side, bit of space. Right to Vardy. Vardy's low cross, Gabriel away. Evans wins the loose ball. Referee gives a free kick, and he absolutely is right to go mad there, Johnny Evans, because there's not a free kick at all. And he's actually got a yellow card for that. And I have that as the 5th yellow card of the game for Leicester City.
Clatters into his own teammate, Tielemans, and an Arsenal player. I have been on the wrong end of one of those from Johnny, hence my two front teeth are white and the rest aren't, because they are not my teeth, they are replacement teeth.
And it's Evans' fault.
Evans' fault, yeah.
You do look a lot better now, though.
Oh, well.
The new teeth are a lot better. He's done you a favour.
Yeah.
Did he charge you for the dental work?
No, he didn't charge me. I had to pay it myself eventually. But it clatters in on the edge of the box there. I think it's Lacazette. It goes down.
Well, I'm not sure it's a foul, though, is it,
No.
Johnny Evans? I mean, it's there to be won. He's just the man who's won it.
Yeah, and look, he's been a terrific signing, I got to say. Played with him at Sunderland, and great teammate, great player, terrific. And what was he, 3 million or something, 3.5 million?
Yeah.
Absolute bargain.
Well, he was linked with Arsenal, wasn't he, when he was at West Bromwich
Yes,
Albion when they got
that's right.
relegated? I believe an actual offer was rebuffed by Albion.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a right footer who can play left centre half. His left foot is as good as his right. He's been a great, terrific signing for Leicester.
Change here for the Foxes. Harvey Barnes coming off. He's replaced by Cengiz Under, the man brought in on loan from Roma for the season. Made his debut in that loss against West Ham. He's a creative, tenacious player, and maybe he could be the difference here. We just need somebody to be brave enough to try something.
Yeah, he will. I saw him against West Ham, and whenever he got it, he looked to do something with it. He almost tried a bit too hard, to be honest, carried the ball too often, but he's got that spark that Leicester require.
We're back underway. 75 minutes gone, Arsenal 0, Leicester 0 on Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and David Connolly with you. Ball is with Arsenal on the halfway, Under chasing down Xhaka. Xhaka does well under pressure to find a pass back to Gabriel. Pokes it to Partey, out of his body. That's a nice chip forward if someone's there. No one is there. Schmeichel comes out of his area to sweep it up. Short pass to Castagna into Tielemans, who's got space and time to turn. Maddison looks over the top towards Jamie Vardy, but too straight there from Maddison. Through to Bernd Leno.
Yeah, too much pace on it as well. And that little give and go. Good ball in from Tielemans, and you've just got to take a little bit of weight off that from Maddison. Just help it around the corner, but just leave it into a space, knowing that can't be too close to Leno, and it'll give Vardy a chance.
Mustafi in his own half, right-hand side. Into Thomas Partey. Still got two defensive midfielders out there, Arsenal. And they have looked completely toothless so far. Maybe Lacazette can turn it on here. Clip forward to him by Tierney. Fofana gets his body in the way and shields it out for a goal kick. And it's another really impressive moment from young Wesley Fofana.
It's like when you learn the timetables by rote. You know, this is what Arsenal are here. By rote, they're just performing movements that they've been coached to do on the training ground, but there's no need for them. You don't need Granit Xhaka dropping out as a left-sided sort of defender stroke fullback when you've got Gabriel, who's got a lovely left foot. He can do that all by himself. And then you push Xhaka higher up the pitch, you push Ceballos higher up the pitch, and suddenly you've got players affecting that Leicester back line. At the minute, they don't.
Goal kick here for Leicester City. Kasper Schmeichel will take it. Blast upfield, out left. Fuchs. Then Maddison flicks onto Vardy. Lobs it onto Under, who he brings it down. Could be through on goal. He does, but he drags it out right. Back to Castagna. Cross comes in. Blocked by Xhaka. What a waste that was there by Cengiz Under, who was in.
Oh, terrible touch. And it's a really good move. Schmeichel, obviously deliberate, pinged it out to Fuchs with his height, knowing that he can win the flick on. They keep it alive, eventually lands at the feet of Vardy, helps it over the top. That first touch, though, is completely in between Gabriel and the left-sided fullback. His first touch just takes him away from goal. Should have done better there.
Wasn't easy to bring down by any stretch, but you do believe that Cengiz Under has the ability to bring a ball like that down?
Well, if it was a right footer, they would have taken that out the sky. But because he's a lefty, he tried to use his left foot as the ball's coming across his shoulder. And that's a very difficult skill when you're on the right-hand side.
Got to be two-footed, haven't you, in 2020 in the Premier League? Well, Nicolas Pepe's out there, so maybe not. Granit Xhaka, too. Here he is with a left-footed pass cross-field to Mustafi on the right. Pepe makes a run. Mustafi doesn't go for the long pass. He looks into the centre circle and Gabriel. 79 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Leicester 0. Here's Tierney. Looks to slip in Lacazette. Poor ball. Fofana intercepts. And finds Tielemans in space. Pokes it back to Johnny Evans. Footed up to Jamie Vardy. Brings it down the chest. And finds a pass back, is being fouled by Gabriel and wins the free kick for his team.
Yeah, that's just going back to Johnny Evans there, and he gets it from Tielemans, a right footer, but he's able to just change the angle rather than going back where he came from in terms of the ball was down that side. He just opened his body out onto his left foot. Plenty of time, really composed to pick a pass straight up to Vardy, and terrific player.
Tielemans looks for Madison. Good strong challenge on him. Breaks to Fuchs in his own half. Named Palace Mendy finds Yuri Tielemans, who looks over the top, and he's got a runner here, and it is Under who squares it for Vardy! And Jamie Vardy scores to liven up this drab game at Emirates Stadium. It just had to be him. It's always him. It's now 11 Premier League goals against Arsenal for Vardy. You just cannot keep this man down. 1-0 Leicester.
Absolutely brilliant. What a pass this is from Tielemans. Great movement from Under. Finally they've got someone running in behind, and he does have a right foot. I said he didn't, but this time he does. Just to slide that ball across the box onto Vardy with his head. He's about 5 yards out into the back of the net. Great goal. Super movement though, and the pass from Tielemans was absolutely terrific.
Another goal for Jamie Vardy. 6 goals already this season. Top scorer in the Premier League last time with 23. Not fit enough to start tonight, but he's always got the instinct, always makes the right run, doesn't he, in the penalty area. He doesn't need to be 100% fit to be the brightest striker on the field, and that's a goal that this game has desperately needed. It might well spark a reaction in Arsenal, and in fact immediately they've made a change here. Eddie Nketiah has come on. Just confirm who's gone off for you here. Kieran Tierney has been withdrawn, so Tierney off and Nketiah on.
Well, he's not happy, boy, is he, Tierney? But, I mean, the change from Rodgers worked. He brought an attacker, a creative spark on. We said that. That's what we said. Creative. You know, he'll give him that spark, and he has done. He's ran in behind. His movement's been good. You look at Arsenal. Look at Ceballos still receiving on the halfway line behind the ball. Xhaka the same. There they are. I mean, just going nowhere. Sideways, backwards.
Gabriel lobs one forward, it's away by Castagna, and then further by Fofana. Partey forward to Pepe. Here he is again, Partey, centre of the pitch, 40 yards from goal. Tielemans up against him, finds a crossfield diagonal to Bellerin. That's a good ball. If Bellerin can keep it in, he just about does, but on the second touch he tried a swinger at the ball, and it goes out over the end line for a goal kick to Leicester. And at the moment, the Fox is cruising to an easy 3 points.
Well, this will be another, you know, classic smash and grab. I don't know what the stats are, but in that Man City game, they had, what, 28% of the ball here. They've got it at 46, which is surprising. So it looks like Arsenal probably had more like 60-40. But as it is, you know, this is Leicester at their best. You know, sort of soaking up the sort of pressure, but you'd have to say they haven't really been tested, have they, by Arsenal?
Well, at least at Man City, they had about 30% of the ball, as you say, but they had some shots in that game.
Yeah.
They've barely troubled Bernd Leno in this game. That's their first shot on target in the match. It's gone in. And Arsenal look to recover here with Eddie Nketiah away from Fofana, not away from Castagna on the cover.
There was a block. I think you give a little block here for Fofana. Nketiah did really well, knock it round one side of him and then went round the other, but he just gave a slight block. He got away with it. Just knocked Nketiah off his stride.
Here's Xhaka, pokes it forward from the left-hand side, blocked by Castagna. He's just feeling his right hamstring there as he knocks the ball into touch.
Well, I think Arteta went to retrieve the ball, but he had those clumpy trainers on. He couldn't quite get there in time.
There are loads of balls around the field these days, of course, anyway. So you find you've got to chase a ball and the player's already picked one up. That's what's happened here with Xhaka. Knocks it back to Ceballos. And again, they just look uninspired, Arsenal, don't they? If they are to get something from this game, I wouldn't say it was deserved. Home side haven't really tried to take it to Leicester at all. Oh, poor ball, Mustafi out on the far side, intercepted by James Maddison, and Leicester have got something to hold on to here.
And this is where maybe if you had Luiz on the pitch, you know, he might be able to unlock a door with his passing from the back, but certainly you don't need Partey, you don't need Jackie, you don't need Ceballos. You might as well rip up that whole midfield when you're playing someone like even a Leicester who defends so deep. And they're going to face how many opponents are going to play like this? You know, half the division.
Ceballos had a poor game. As you say, I'm not sure he's made a single forward pass all match. Another one behind him here to Gabriel.
Oh.
That's kind of his role, isn't it?
I just want to shake him, pick him up and shake him and say, look, go for your clear. Is this what brought you to, Real and Arsenal? No, it's not.
Xhaka on the left-hand side, found by Ceballos. Back to him again. He looks a forward ball here, but intercepted by Tielemans. But at least he tried it this time. Tielemans desperate to be fouled, and Eddie Nketiah obliges. Poor there from Nketiah, because Tielemans looking around, desperate for anyone to run into him.
He was like one of those, those car crash scams. Someone just flings himself in front of a car just to, make a claim. That was Tielemans there. Come on, someone just bump into me and then I can make a claim and go down. That's exactly what he did.
Clever from Tielemans and not particularly bright from the Arsenal sub. There's another change is forthcoming here for Leicester. Another survivor of the Premier League winning side, Mark Albrighton, who is coming on, and he'll be replacing James Maddison for the final 7 minutes here. What do you make of Maddison tonight?
Yeah, he's done okay. I think he's done okay. I think he had a good week midweek. Obviously got his goal. Would be part of a winning performance here, but I don't think he certainly hasn't sparkled, has he? So, I don't know, for a good while now.
Would you like a tidbit about Mark Albrighton?
I really like Mark Albrighton.
Well, he scored on his first career appearance against Arsenal for Aston Villa in 2011. It was the 20,000th Premier League goal.
Wow.
There you go. For your next pub quiz.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, he is a really good player. I thought him and, obviously Fuchs in that title-winning campaign, but even since then, he found himself at times out the side, and unluckily so.
Cengiz Under, who's come on and changed the game here for Leicester, setting up Vardy, his fellow sub. Has it by the corner flag right-hand side, lobs it all the way back to the halfway, showing maybe the limit of Leicester's ambition here.
Well, I mean, they've had some dodgy signings, haven't they? Like, Slimani and people like that haven't quite worked out. Not all their recruitment has been great, Leicester. No. But Under looks like he's come under the radar. I didn't really heard of him, but...
Oh, dear.
Yeah. You can use that one in your...
No, it's all right, mate. I do good jokes. You can keep that one. Arsenal have 4 minutes to salvage something of this atrocious performance. And at the moment, they just have it across their back line and just knock it back to Leno. They know they're losing, right? There's no urgency at all about Arsenal.
And there's no change in terms of how they play, which is the more concerning thing. They're like robots. You've lost that sort of... that decision-making and...
Well, they go with Mustafi on the halfway. The diagonal cross-field has not really worked so far in the second period, as it did in the first. So they go short. Xhaka to Pepe. Good challenge by Castagna. And Xhaka had to win that, and he did. And he pokes it to Pepe, who runs infield. Sure, shoved in the back by Cengiz Under. Referee's given nothing. Tielemans brings it away. Fofana trying to draw the foul from Xhaka, but couldn't do so.
What is he doing there, Fofana? I mean, I'm sure Johnny Evans is saying, get back here. There's no need to go running over the halfway line now. We just need to sit in for a few minutes, keep a clean sheet, and we won the game.
Folly of youth, maybe, from Wesley Fofana.
Yeah, I think so.
First mistake he's made all game, though, to be fair to him. He's very, very good.
Yeah.
Here's Gabriel on the halfway line. Poor ball from him, intercepted by Albrighton. Into Mendy. Cleared by Fuchs. Albrighton volleys on the halfway, trying to find Vardy. Gabriel volleys back to Leno. Vardy was sniffing. Leno will get there before Jamie Vardy. Short to Gabriel and back to Squadron Mustafi.
Well, I'm just wondering whether Leicester have changed to a back three here. Have to wait and see, because, they can do that with Fuchs as the left-sided one, and obviously Johnny Evans as a central one for Fana on the right side, just to see this game out.
It's a bit like a back five, back six, isn't it, at the moment for Leicester, as they are doing exactly that, trying to stop any kind of Arsenal attack, of which there's not been a great deal of tonight.
No, so yeah.
Mendy battling Ceballos with the ball here in the centre circle. Referee wants Leicester want the referee to give a free kick. He doesn't. And Pepe looks forward, intercepted by Fofana. Onto Ceballos, who goes square to Partey. Chip towards Bellerin's run, away by Fuchs. Good volley away from him. Into Tielemans. In no rush once again, Yuri Tielemans. And he wants to be fouled. And again, I mean, he's just
put another
suckering
claim
them in.
He's put another claim in there.
He's going to bankrupt Arsenal at this rate.
Genie Mac.
Well, there's blame, there's a claim. And he's just smarter, isn't he? Just being smarter than Arsenal's players. It's his through ball as well, isn't it, for Under's cross to Vardy for the goal.
Well, he's a brilliant through ball. Got to say, he's been a great signing. What was he, 40-odd million? He's worth it. Tielemans.
Played all but a couple of the games for Leicester since then. A virtual ever present.
And they have gone to this back three by the looks of it, with Fuchs in there, just to try and, you know, shore it up. If Arsenal do throw the kitchen sink at them, but not too sure they will.
Well, Brighton forward to Justin down the left-hand side. Takes to the corner flag, Justin. Good play from him. Mustafi is with him. Into Jamie Vardy from Albrighton. Nice feet from Jamie Vardy. Man who's come on and scored. Here he is again. Wants the foul from Partey. Gets the foul from Partey in Leicester City. I mean, this is the embodiment of being professional, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing the game out.
Absolutely, and we've seen this, I think, against Man City, didn't we, in terms of, you know, Vardy just nicking the ball in front of defenders. He does it so well, they don't even know where he is. You switch off, you're fraction marginally late. That is it. You make a foul on him, he wins either a free kick or a penalty. Just can't switch off for a second when he's around.
90 minutes are now up, Arsenal fans, and there are 5 to be added on, which would usually be somewhat encouraging to the home support if there were any here, but even if they were, I'm not sure they would feel this team would be capable of the way they played tonight. They have won a throw after Leicester couldn't keep the ball in the corner any further. It's into Gabriel on the edge of his own area. He'll carry Arsenal forward. Left-footed pump-up field, intercepted by Fofana, who's been a magnet to the ball this evening. Whether that's good positioning or bad passing, I'll let you decide, but certainly has seen a lot of it. Xhaka with a quick throw into Pepe. Effective since coming on. Back towards Gabriel, who looks right to Mustafi. Came on for the injured David Luiz. Carries towards the halfway. He looks diagonal in the air. Trying to find Nketiah, who's gone down. Referee says foul by Nketiah on Fofana, not the other way round.
Yeah, right call. And this will just waste a few seconds. There'll be no rush here to take this. Schmeichel, I imagine he'll be banging this as high and as far as he can. He won't have Fuchs to aim for. That's the only thing, because obviously he's playing at the back now. So we'll have to see which side he'll try and put it into. Who's the smallest side? Probably on Bella inside. Yeah, looks like that might be pointing that way.
Would be their first loss of 2020 at home, Arsenal, but if you watch their games this season in the league, they shouldn't have beaten West Ham here. We're lucky to beat Sheffield United. They've not played well here either, so cause for concern for Arsenal fans.
But just going back to Schmeichel there, I mean, he's got the kick. He has booted it right to the edge of the Arsenal box, and that is, I can't tell you, I mean, it's just so good when you're up and you're, you know, just trying to put the ball in the opposition half.
Brighton slipped in Vardy here, goal side of Mustafi. Vardy to wrap this one up. Oh, it's saved by Leno. He tried to chip him, and Leno was just alert to it. Jamie Vardy thought he'd scored a second.
Yeah, it came from Schmeichel. Long ball, brilliant ball in behind. He's on the last man, on the shoulder. It's a bit of a heavy touch, and actually Leno, you think, oh, he could have come out earlier. He doesn't. Vardy tries to lift it. He actually rushes the finish, and he had time. Comes off his face in the end,
yes.
Leno.
See him on the face. He had no idea. He was going down. Corner for Leicester, which they'll take short. Under back to Tielemans. Wants the foul from Pepe. Turns it forward. Xhaka takes over. Into Gabriel, who clears. Not very far. Mendy picks it up. Pressure from Vardy. Calls the mistake. Tielemans gives it away. Ceballos can bring Arsenal forward. But again, he doesn't even know what way he's playing. He's gone back to Xhaka. Xhaka takes the responsibility of the forward ball to Bayerin. Into Xhaka again. On the halfway now, Arsenal.
Well, I don't know what sort of glasses he's wearing, Mikel, but they're rose-tinted in terms of Ceballos, how he has stayed on this pitch.
Mustafi diagonal, aimless, away. Castagna, brought down by Under. Done really well. Cengiz Under is coming on again here. Finds a simple pass, needs somewhere to go now. Back to Castagna, who clears. Partey, Gabriel and Mustafi all back there. There's only one player to mark.
Yeah. Well, there's no one to mark. All 11 are in the other half for Leicester.
No one ever for Arsenal. Here's Mustafi. On to Bayerin, back to Mustafi. Right-footed cross is deep. Finds Pepe outside of the area, left-hand side, up against Castagna. Takes him on the outside, cross deflected. Goes into the side netting. Schmeichel couldn't keep it on. That's an Arsenal corner in the last minute.
Yeah, I think Castagna just showed him a little bit too much here, Pepe. He's so quick. He's called Peep Peep, isn't he? That's what he was in France. He's that rapid, and he showed him too much of the line. Just did enough, though, to deflect it out for a corner.
In his Acme boots tonight, it seems. They've not helped him at all. He will take this corner. Left-footed. It's at the near post. It's a poor ball, and it's away by Castagna. Kept on by Pepe. Winds up another cross. That's better, but too close to Kasper Schmeichel, who gathers and smothers and falls on it. Puffs out the cheeks, and that may well be all she wrote.
Yeah, he's got to beat the first man. He doesn't. They don't get someone across there either, Arsenal. Symptomatic of their performance, just being below the level required.
Schmeichel with a wallop upfield.
Not a great one, though.
Tielemans flicks on to Under. Looks to take Xhaka on the outside. Xhaka grabs him by the shoulder. He'll get another yellow card for Arsenal. Their third of the match to go with Leicester's 5. It's not been ill-tempered, per se, but it has been scrappy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's a touch of Ozil looks at Xhaka and thinks how he behaved, and he's managed to, you know, brush it under the carpet, get back in the team, and, you know, Ozil's been a professional.
Yeah,
but
it's
just not in the plans.
Inexplicable. We'll need the autobiography to find out. But history is made tonight. We don't need to wait for the book. We know that Leicester have won for the first time away at Arsenal since 1973. And it came from, you guessed it, Jamie Vardy scoring the only goal of the game from the bench. It's the first home loss that Arsenal have suffered this season. It's the first home loss they've had in the calendar year of 2020. And boy, they did deserve it. Analysis to follow. At full time, it has finished Arsenal 0, Leicester 1. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
And extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to Premier League Live. The final game of Sunday's action comes from Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal were under par and Leicester have won here for the first time since the 70s. Ball whipped in towards the near, flicked on and flicked home. An Arsenal lead in 3 minutes, but an offside flag has gone up here, presumably from the flick on at the near post. So, is it a goal, and what's being assessed here?
It's a brilliant ball in here from Sabas. It might be Lacazette with the flick on at the near, but at the back post is Aubameyang, there's Xhaka in there, there's about 5 players all around the goalkeeper Schmeichel, and in the end, does anyone touch it? I mean, if Xhaka touches it, he's offside.
The goal is not going to stand. It's officially offside. And it is Under who squares it for Vardy! And Jamie Vardy scores to liven up this drab game at Emirates Stadium. It just had to be him. It's always him. It's now 11 Premier League goals against Arsenal for Vardy. You just cannot keep this man down.
What a pass this is from Tielemans. Great movement from Under. Finally, they've got someone running in behind, and he does have a right foot. I said he didn't, but this time he does. Just to slide that ball across the box onto Vardy with his head. He's about 5 yards out into the back of the net. Great goal. Super movement, though.
1-0 Leicester. And that's how it remained, really the only talking point of the second period. David Connolly watched the game alongside me, Tom Rennie, and there's not a great deal to analyse, really, is there? Nothing happened, but it was a fantastic goal to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess the setup, the tactics from this Leicester side now under Brendan Rodgers in terms of sitting deep and countering. If they get an opportunity, they've been pretty efficient, haven't they? Here, there weren't too many, but they took it. Subs made a difference, and they defended for their lives. Wasn't a great performance, you know, from Leicester, but you got to remember they were the away team, so a point here would have been great. 3, incredible.
They're up to 4th, Leicester, joining Everton, Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League's top 4. Their first win away at Arsenal since 1973, Emirates and Highbury combined. So a great result for them historically, an important result for them this season as well, because it does feel a little bit like it could go either way at the moment for them. Yes,
I mean, you know, they've had some terrific results, but then obviously, followed it on with some poor ones. You know, look at the 2 back-to-back defeats. They got back on it today. Look, they weren't tested. I thought Arsenal were really poor, really below the level, way below the level that they're going to have to be. If a lot of sides come here and set up like that, you know, if they set up with this sort of similar template, looking back on this game, going, right, you know, we want to get a result at Arsenal, this is what we've got to do. You know, and just looking at the rotations, how they play Arsenal, how they affect the game, don't get enough players ahead of the ball, very pragmatic, very drilled off the training ground, almost drilled the creativity out of them, it looks like. But, you know, if you're a Leicester fan, you won't care because you've got 3 points.
Lots of our listeners in Ghana tonight would like to know your views on Thomas Partey on his first Premier League start.
I thought it was really quiet, didn't affect the game whatsoever. 2 defence-minded. I don't think they needed him and Xhaka in there. I think it was one or the other. Could barely say anything he did. You know, he really
was he
couldn't.
there actually? Yeah.
I mean, in the first half, especially so, he was barely on the ball. He looked, to be honest, he looked a little bit lost. He looked lost in terms of where do I stand because I've got Granit Xhaka in and around me, and it just seemed to throw him off his stride.
Great tweet from Onyeka who says, "Dear Arteta, call Mesut Ozil. Get him back to the team already." They can't until at least January, unfortunately. I'm not sure that ever will happen, but there was such a flat lack of creativity about that midfield. Talk to me about Dani Ceballos tonight.
Yeah.
Everything is meant to come through him, but I mean, how many of his passes went backwards?
Yeah, it was shocking. I mean, I can't believe he stayed on the pitch. I don't know what Arteta sees, where a fellow countryman or whatever, and you know, he gets curry favour, but I don't know. I could still play if You know, we could still play if he plays like that, because he drops behind the ball, comes away from the pressure. Everyone can receive him 5-8 yards of space with everything in front of them and play the pass. And then if it's not on, play it back. We can all do that.
Yep.
You're on the pitch as a creative talent. That's why you've been signed, you know, to go and make a difference, higher up the pitch, impact the game where you need it. Put yourself in a position, in a little pocket, you know, 5-yard square, like De Bruyne does, like a Foden does, off the front, where you give this defenders a decision to make and midfielders. Do they come in with you? Do they not? If they come in, the space in behind, running behind like Under did. If they stay off, you can get turned and then you can affect the game. Playing on the halfway line does absolutely nothing. And Arsenal had 5, 6 players at times in and around the halfway line, all facing forwards, all with the play in front. Too many.
Up next for Arsenal, Dundalk here on Thursday, a trip to Manchester United, then Molde and Aston Villa here before the international break for Leicester City. After this one, they take on AEK Athens away in the Europa League, Leeds away next Monday Night Football, then Braga and Wolves before international break. This was the third game of Sunday's Premier League action. Here's how the other two played out earlier on.
Here's Ward-Prowse into the area, and Southampton do take the lead. James Ward-Prowse on his 200th start for the club.
Too easy, really, the way he broke through that back four. Pickford gets a slight touch, but that only helps it to go hit the side netting.
Shea Adams with a chance to double the lead here, and he does so. And that front two that Paul Parker was praising combined to double Southampton's advantage. Southampton 2, Everton 0.
What I like in my team in the moment is that it seems that we definitely do some big steps forward. But the biggest mistakes you make when you're successful, you know. And so keep on focused and keep on working.
Raul Jimenez on the edge of the D. Oh, he struck it superbly. It just had to be him. 4 goals in 6 games at the start of the new campaign. Murphy the most likely. He strikes it towards the near post and he scores. Past the Wolves wall and catching out Rui Patricio. And in this season of strange results, an unlikely equaliser for the Magpies at Molineux.
Delighted for Jacob in the end, for who's I'm sure many people have looked at it and thought, wow, that's a big call. I'm delighted for him because he's worked so hard and deserved his chance.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy with that 89th minute free kick, rescuing a point for Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers earlier in the day. Southampton ended Everton's great start to this season. The last remaining unbeaten record in the Premier League is gone. Goals from James Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams giving the Saints all 3 points. Loads of big games yesterday, of course, in the Premier League. A massive game came from Old Trafford. The big game of the day, the game we were building up to all week between Manchester United and Chelsea. And it was our only goalless game of this Premier League weekend. What did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Manchester United manager, think of it when he spoke to TalkSport's Sam Matterface post-match?
Well, there weren't too many chances in the game. I think the 2 good teams defensively, but then again their keeper made 2 fantastic saves from Marcus. So if there was going to be a winner, it was going to be Marcus scoring it and us winning. So I felt we grew more and more into the game, built more pressure, started off a little bit slow, but we found a foothold in the game, we got it, and we pegged them back. But as I've said a couple of times in a couple of interviews here now, the fans at the Stratford end would have helped us suck that ball in the net.
Yeah, I was thinking about the moment when Edinson Cavani and Paul Pogba came on, and trying to envisage what the sort of noise would have been like in the Stratford end. How much of an impact do you think it does have on Manchester United's grandstand finishes that they used to have?
Massive, because first of all, this happened so many times at the stadium in front of the Stratford end, and you know that noise that comes on, it gives you an extra buzz. It's an unbelievable feeling. I've felt it myself, and coming on there, just chasing that goal, it's something different. And at the moment, it's like, it doesn't really matter if you're home or away. It's a game. The life and the atmosphere in the stadium is made by the players on the pitch and some of the coaches screaming. So, but then again, after there's 2 good teams after a European midweek. I'm pleased with the players. I think they put a good performance on.
Are you a little bit disappointed with the home form recently? It's now Bournemouth in July, the last time you won here.
Yeah.
That's the longest period, actually, that in Manchester United's Premier League history that they've gone without winning a game at home. What do you think the reasons are for that?
There's one of the reasons are what I've just said here now, that there's no fans. Another reason is that the referee sent someone on with a slap on the throat. It's just an absolute shambles that someone goes down last week last couple of weeks ago with Tottenham. So that's of course a reason. But we've put some points on the board at home today, and it's helped the boys moving on from the last time we beat Paris, because we were absolutely shocking for the rest of that season.
Yeah. So points on the board in the Champions League, points on the board here. Moving up the table, I suppose, is the next sort of priority.
Next priority is Champions League on Wednesday. It's relentless. There's so many games this season, and we've just got to keep this group hungry. It's a great group to work with. We've added some very good characters and personalities, so I'm looking forward to the next game.
Edinson Cavani came off the bench and with his first touch hit the side netting. It was very tight. Did you get off your seat at that point and think that it had snuck in?
No, I was stood up there, I think. Nice little run, a little flick on, but he'll score goals, I'm sure.
He didn't score yesterday. Nobody did. Not a great game of football between Manchester United and Chelsea. Man United, David Connolly, 5 games played, just 2 victories. Really uninspired yesterday. When do people start getting worried? 15th after 5 games.
Yes, I mean, certainly for United fans, you would be worried. I mean, Ollie knows, and there's something in that, listening to that interview in terms of the fans. And, they're notorious, certainly in Ollie's days there under Sir Alex, of getting late goals and turning draws into victories, etc., or snatching defeat, whatever it is, But apart from, I guess, the Newcastle performance, they backed it up with the Paris Saint-Germain one. You just wonder whether a bit of tired legs, tired bodies, tired minds, they weren't quite at the races. They've had a couple of poor results, haven't they? I mean, obviously the Tottenham one sticks out in the mind, but I don't think that was the worst one. The 0-0 at home to Chelsea, I've got to say. I think that Chelsea set up to frustrate, not be done on the counter as they were last season, and it worked.
It certainly did. Leeds United 15th in the table. Man City down in 13th after their start of the season. 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat. They're behind West Ham, of course, under David Moyes, former Manchester United manager. They got a draw against City early on Saturday. Let's hear from the Moyes, shall we? Back from COVID-19, his side are playing well. The worst start of any team in the Premier League, and it's all going all right for him. Let's hear from him.
David, you're smiling. Do you see that as a point gained?
Oh, definitely a point gained. You've got to remember, Man City came here the last couple of times and won 5-0 and 4-0, so I don't think many people would have probably had us as favourites or getting something from the game. But I felt it through the players, their training, the what they're doing, obviously the confidence we took from coming back again in the Tottenham game. So they showed great character today to hang in and dig in and get a point from the game.
And there was so much pressure. Is it a test of concentration as much as anything physical?
Well, I've been moaning a little bit about the lack of defending in the Premier League, so at least we stuck at it. We didn't give in, and maybe we didn't always defend the first thing well enough, but at least we covered and we made sure somebody was there to block the shot or to defend the cross. So I've got to say well done to the boys at the back. It was a good game not to concede more than 1 goal, because as we know, City are more than capable of doing that to you.
And Antonio, I mean, you didn't have too many chances, but what a terrific goal.
It was a great goal, and Mickey's become really important. It's a little bit like the way Marko Arnautovic was a couple of years ago when we were here. We needed somebody to sort of help us and get us goals and play up front in a way to get us up the pitch. So Mickey can do that because he's powerful, he's quick. So I've just got to hope that the injury he's come off with isn't too serious, because he's a really good player and he's doing great for us.
And you've taken 8 points from the last 4 games. Is that a good return considering the quality of the teams you've been facing?
Well, I think it is a good return, because I think that nobody would have given us too many points if they looked at the fixtures. I think more important for me is how well we've been playing. Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't play better today. I thought we could have played better at moments, and we'll look at it on Monday. But the confidence in the group, the character, the team spirit we've got at the moment is getting us results like that and hanging in games and not losing and coming back in games. So we have to hope that that continues.
David Moyes with our man Nigel Adderley yesterday. David Connolly in a few seconds next weekend. West Ham against Liverpool. The way they've been playing, they might get something.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you know, that would have given them great confidence yesterday. As Moyes said, the Messiah, as you said, great point for them.
David Connolly, thank you very much indeed. Former West Ham, Leicester, Southampton striker with me for this one. We're back tomorrow with 2 games in the Premier League starting at 5 o'clock GMT. That's UK time. Brighton against West Brom with Richard Wolfenden and Dean Hammond, followed by Burnley against Tottenham with James Fielden and our friend Kevin Watson returning. Here, it's finished with Leicester's first victory away at Arsenal since 1973. Jamie Vardy with the goal. You've been listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio.
Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, oh, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim.
Bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy